What if you could do it tax and penalty free? Find out more by requesting your free 2025 Gold and Silver Kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Plus, you could get an unlimited instant match on bonus silver if you qualify. Call 855-969-GOLD to learn more. That's 855-969-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
96.5 The Fan is your exclusive home for Chiefs football, with pregame starting 3 hours before kickoff with Josh Briscoe. Then it's the call of the game with Mitch Holtis, Dayton Hughes, and Josh Klingler.
Touchdown! Kansas City! Travis Kelce owning this game!
Followed by postgame coverage featuring exclusive one-on-one interviews with Andy Reid and Chiefs players inside the locker room. This is your home for Chiefs football. Follow us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content at The Fan 965, KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Okay. Well, Christmas and Hollis kind of beat going on this morning. I like it.
You know, I once caught my mom kissing Santa Claus.
Uh-oh. How did that go for you, Dusty?
I don't know.
That was probably something that you did not need to see. My kids catch us just about once a week kissing Santa Claus.
You think Christmas is on a Thursday?
Yeah, it really is. Good thing, right?
Otherwise, they'd find the North Pole and the South Pole.
Fa la 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 la, baby.
Did you hear they interviewed Gardner Minshew yesterday about what he's going to do coming back?
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind. I'm going to execute a button hook pattern super slow-mo.
How's your Tuesday?
Yeah, there you go.
We're
That's
out of
way
the
to look
funk,
at it,
right? Nathan started with some funk. Yesterday was the funk. We found out, yesterday, a little more severe than we thought.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea where or what the LCL is.
It's the other one.
Oh.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Why wouldn't it be the BCL?
Because you got the ACL, the MCL, and the LCL, right? And
so we jump from A to M to L?
AML, yeah, that's how it works.
AMF.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember hearing much about the LCL.
Well, Dr. Chow, the pro football doctor's got all the information.
He's got all the answers,
If you didn't have him,
right?
by Lord, you wouldn't know when to take your medicine.
I wouldn't know what to do without Dr. Chow
He showed
telling
us
me
how
what to
you
do.
cared. Did you see the videos? I thought it was, I swear to God, and I don't mean to do that, but I promise you, I literally thought it was a prank video. I did not think that guy was a serious person.
Oh, yeah, he's
He's
real.
like literally in the camera and like a button up and slacks. And he's like, when you do this motion, I'm like, is he really like, I feel like he's teaching me how to do the cha-cha slide.
Yeah, or how to tear your ACL. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But, I mean, I didn't know much about the LCL. I knew the MCL, but then they said the LCL was also, damaged in there, and all the fearmongers are running around talking about how this is going to be now worse and whatnot. Well, of course it's going to be different because
it's another ligament.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's 1 versus 2, of course.
Well, we had a lot of text line doctors yesterday.
Oh,
we
I
actually
imagine
had
so,
one that was a freak athlete. It was triple jumper D1 college.
Oh,
said
wow.
he had ACL surgery, came back in 6 months.
How about that? Wow.
6 months.
That's crazy, man.
Week 5 is where I'm at.
Yeah,
I'm not moving from that. Not even with the LCR, the ACL, and the
PCL, the ACL,
BBL.
yeah, the BBL,
stinky. We're on a roll. We're only 2 minutes and 40 seconds in.
And Nathan's here today for Mac.
Yeah. Mac's got bad guts, dude. I don't know what
he really
it is.
does. He needs to get his stomach removed or something like that. I don't know, man. Like,
actually,
stop
Nathan,
that up.
We got a text from Nathan in voice text. He said this yesterday.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind. I'm going to execute a button hook pattern super slow-mo.
So, in all seriousness, Mahomes did go through with the surgery, I believe, yesterday evening.
Yeah, last night. We told you it was going to be fast,
yeah,
right?
Didn't even watch that putrid game last night.
No.
My God.
Yeah, that thing stunk. I watched about the first half of that thing, and I think I saw 1 touchdown in the first half. I'm like, I'm bouncing out of this one, man. I can't do this thing. This sucks.
That was a bad product.
You know what
whatever.
sucks about it, though, Dusty, honestly, watching
The
it?
Ravens' hopes dwindling?
Well, no, not only that. It's like I'm watching these games. I'm like, God, and this is the year we picked to crap the bed, right? Like, this was the year we picked to crap the bed when the rest of the NFL isn't anything that's
Did you hear
all
what Rich Eisen said
that
yesterday?
great. No, what did he say?
He said yesterday on a show that you're going to miss the Chiefs.
Oh, you are.
He's
yeah.
like, the NFL is fun when the Chiefs are in the NFL.
That's right.
And you're going to realize this playoff that there's not going to be that. But maybe it is a good year. And I mean this for everybody. Maybe this is a good year to just kind of be like, you know what? enjoy it. We'll be back. We know they will be. We know they're going to come back stronger than ever. I don't have any doubt in my mind about that. But this is a good year to just be like, you know what? I don't care this year.
Right.
And you know what? Josh Allen, Buffalo, good luck.
Go do it.
And we're going to see the graphic change. I remember Sunday, it was like, this is going to be the first playoffs without Mahomes or Burrow. And now they're going to re-edit and say Lamar.
Right.
Because Pittsburgh, again, wins last night. Obviously, Baltimore still has a fighting chance. Miami is basically eliminated
No, they
last
were
night.
eliminated, yeah.
eliminated last night.
Yep.
And now you're kind of getting down to, like, you kind of know where we're going because we're week 16, then we're
Right.
Christmas, and then the next week is the last one of the year. But you're right. I think there is kind of that weird feeling this year where I honestly, on the Super Bowl, I would not be surprised if it was the Jaguars and, I don't know, the Lions.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Who knows? Like, that has that. I would also not be surprised as well if it's not Buffalo and the Rams, right? Like, I think that's, if you were to break down the odds of a matchup, I think that would be your favorite.
Probably. I
Buffalo
would think
and the
so.
Rams?
Maybe New England squeaks in there, but Buffalo just beat New England, so you would have to think it would be Buffalo and the two top
would
seeds,
you
right?
feel like Mac if it was New England and Philadelphia?
I wouldn't feel like he would. I wouldn't be all in my feels about that one, but I mean, I wouldn't like, those two teams being in it.
Worst case scenario.
But you know what would be awesome is that all the East Coast media's got to go all the way to the West, and it's going to mess up everything that they have to do. So I am in on that a little bit to give them a nice little, run around and all the kind of crap that they've got to deal with a big time difference on something like that. But that's behind the scenes type of stuff. I think it would be interesting if Philadelphia made it back because that means they've overcome everything like that they've been through this year, from people benching the quarterback, egging the offensive coordinator's house, to wanting the coach fired, to whatever the hell has gone on there.
You could never fire Sirianni.
You really couldn't if they get to the Super Bowl this year, right? Maybe they'll blame it on that, that positivity bunny and give him a lot of the credit for being in that locker room for the week. But yeah, if Philadelphia makes it back this year, my God, man, like Sirianni, then you really have to start talking about being one of the better coaches in the NFL. But now this league is wide open this year, guys. It really is. And when you look back at the Mahomes injury, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. And I say that because that's even more drive for Patrick Mahomes this offseason than he was already going to have. And maybe it's more drive, for the organization as well to look at this and realize he's mortal, right? Like for the last 8 years, he was immortal. Like this guy could withstand everything. And we saw the first mortal moment, if you will, of Patrick Mahomes' career on Sunday. And then immediately he has the surgery last night. Rehab starts today. The Chiefs said immediately he'll begin the rehab process, which we knew. But now that he's had that injury, had that down season, you saw some mortality with him. Maybe that's the message that gets sent to the organization this offseason to say, hey, we got a guy out here that we thought was this immortal figure that we could just do anything we want and he would carry us. And then we saw him go down. And we saw that, maybe he does need some help as he's getting up there in age. And maybe this spurs on the organization to do some different things and spurs on Clark Hunt, quite frankly, to allow them to go out there and do some different things to make this roster stronger now around Patrick Mahomes, because that's what it ultimately comes down to. He needs more weapons around him right now.
This was Andy Reid yesterday, in case you missed it.
Yeah, I've had a good visit with him a couple different times. So he's in a good place. He always feels like he let people down, but then he comes back and he's ready for the challenge ahead.
Look forward to it.
Which is what's real right now. He's just got to get through surgery wherever it might be, and then move on from there.
So there was Andy yesterday in his Zoom meeting, as he says he looks forward to the challenge, and also surgery last night as he repaired his ACL, LCL. Should be what I think. I don't know, man. Like I don't know how to predict like someone's injury or someone's body, right?
Yeah.
I would assume that instead of, when maybe somebody asks you like, when do we go to the lake? I don't know, sometime in May.
Right.
You're not going to be like, May 5th on that Saturday, we're going to leave at 10 a.m. Like, I can't do that, right? I can tell you that it's probably going to be a weekend in May where we're going to go back down to the lake, kind of open things up, get ready for it, right? With this surgery, I would say I am expecting the first 4 weeks to have a different quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. And then after that, I think you go into it. And I think, like we said this year, if you can get into week 7 without Rashee Rice and be, 5-1 or 3 3-2, whatever we said we wanted to be. That's going to be the narrative next year. Like, can the quarterback in the season, which I also think there is some sort of scripted stuff here, because you mentioned this yesterday, right? Like, if Mahomes is injured and they know that he's not going to play the first 5 weeks, you would think that those primetime games they want the Chiefs to be in will not be in the front of the schedule. Look at those first 5 this year.
Oh, yeah, we're not having
Philly,
that this
Giants, Baltimore, Jacksonville, right?
Right.
Pretty big 5. Next year, it might be like Raiders week 1 in Arrowhead at noon.
At noon.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Week 2, we play the AFC East. Oh, it's going to be the Jets and Chiefs in New York at noon.
Yeah.
Week 3, okay, here it is. Chargers, Chiefs. Mahomes doesn't play, sets up a scene for later on. And then week 5,
bye week
Kansas
4.
City. You know what I mean?
Buffalo, Kansas
You
City.
can see it. It's like Buffalo, the reigning champs.
Yep.
Josh Allen's, new house, and Mahomes comes in on a new knee.
Right.
And
wins. Yeah. No, but that's kind of the way that I'm thinking about it as well. I mean, we're not going to know. Adam Schefter tweeted out that,
he knows
he does. The 9-month return puts him at September 15th, which is, week 1, week 2 of the NFL season, right? I don't think you can go into this offseason, though, if you're the Chiefs, thinking that Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready on week 1. That's a bad plan of attack. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you've got to plan like he is going to miss a considerable amount of time next year, because that's the way you have to operate. Because if you don't, they always say you got to plan for the worst and hope for the best, right? And so they need to go out this offseason and find themselves a legitimate backup quarterback that can carry the first couple of games of the season. I don't know. Here's the way I feel about him. He's here right now, so I'm just like, and the way that the Chiefs kind of operate every year, they get a new backup quarterback in here. I think because he's here right now, I kind of have that feeling about him. So if they bring him back next year, Andy Reid has been great with quarterbacks over obviously the course of his career. And if that's the guy that he trusted, who am I to tell him no, that's not the right guy to trust? But I would like to think there is a plan in place for a real legitimate backup quarterback that could come in here and be a potential starter for, as you keep saying, for at least the first 5 weeks of the season. And I don't disagree with you. You have to plan that you're not going to get Mahomes back till probably sometime mid-year.
Coming up on the other side, we'll get you some stadium news, as that information is going to come more and more prominent this week. Plus, I want to give a little bit of a bucket list idea and maybe get into the minds of Nathan and Bob as well, because you're listening to 96.5 The Fan. Bob Fescoe, Nathan, Dusty, all with you all morning long here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Tune in to hear Mitch Holtis every Friday at 7:20, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at West Shore Home are ready for you. That's right. It is time to schedule your appointment with my friends at West Shore Home, because you know what? Now is the best time to get that remodeling project done, especially when it comes to windows and doors. It's wintertime, right? You don't want your house freezing because you don't have good windows or good doors in there where all that cold air is flowing in. West Shore Home can help you get new windows and new doors, and they can do so much else as well, because home remodeling shouldn't be stressful, and West Shore Home is proving it doesn't have to be. With real-time scheduling and precision scan-to-plan accuracy, they'll make your remodel fast, easy, and convenient. And that's why hundreds of thousands of homeowners have trusted West Shore Home to transform their bathrooms, windows, and doors. Plus, right now, when you buy a full bath remodel, you'll get a second shower for free and lock in an extra $500 off just for listening to the show. But here's what you need to do. You need to schedule now at westshorehome.com/fan. That's westshorehome.com/fan. It's West Shore Home.
Shopping for a new Ford? Go where it's easy. Rob Sight Ford. Non-commissioned staff, huge trade-in values, and Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. Rob Sight Ford. ROBSIGHT.com.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats and sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, good news. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that's tough to beat. Right now, new customers in Missouri can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today and head to FanDuel.com FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement. Remember, new Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game of FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. The Federal Reserve just dropped interest rates again, and that means you can save even more money on your mortgage. If you've been waiting for the right time to refinance, this is it. Our customers are saving hundreds, even thousands every month. What could you do with an extra $1,000 every month? You can also pull cash out of your home's equity to pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or just get ahead. If you refinance now, you can make no payments until next year. And if your loan doesn't close, we'll even pay for your appraisal. But don't wait. Rates can rise again anytime, and they change fast. For today's rate, call Golden Oak Lending now at 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS number 114937.
Brought to you by Gomer's. 5 locations in the KC Metro or online at gomers.com. If ringing in the holidays includes cheers and libations, Gomer's has your back. Voted #1 KC Liquor Shop, they offer a wide variety of beer, wine, and spirits at great prices. Stop by one of their 5 locations. You'll be glad you did.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On the Missouri side, 35 southbound from Missouri 152 into downtown is a 12-minute trip. I-70 westbound from 470 into downtown, 15 minutes. Kansas side 70 eastbound from 435 to 670 is an 11-minute drive. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
So I want to ask you guys something. Text line, you can chime in as well. 913-586-7965. Do you guys have like obscure bucket list things? Like, I don't know, ice fishing maybe? Or maybe you want to go rock climbing. Not like why you would want to, but that's kind of an odd one.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. An odd bucket list item. You said ice fishing, and that's kind of interesting to do. You see those people out there in these little huts in Minnesota on the ice, fishing and doing all that kind of stuff. That doesn't look too bad.
Like, I think a lot of bucket list normalities, which is like a few of mine I will knock out this year, like going to Yankee Stadium and watching the Royals play the Yankees. That I'll do that. Go to Boston and sit in like the above Fenway. Go sit in Wrigleyville. Like, those are like normal, you would think, right? Like, or I don't know, whatever, but like maybe one that's weird. Like, I want to go whitewater rafting. I want to go to, I want to go see, a random EPL game or something.
That's
like
a bucket list item. My friend Ryan, who runs Cactus, we talk about it all the time, going out there and going to an EPL game just for the hell of it and seeing. But those I understand, and if anybody's done it, I'm sure we've got people on the text line that have. Like, the ticket, trying to get tickets is like hard and impossible to get tickets to these type of games, and like not expensive wise, but like there's rules and regulations and stuff like that I've read to kind of resell their tickets over there. It's crazy with the hoops that you have to jump through, I think, to get those tickets. Now again, I could be totally wrong about that, but some of the stuff that I read, I'm sure somebody on the text like, no, it's easy, just go over there and use like their whatever app to do it.
I think mine is darts in Europe.
A chance to put this to bed.
Charlie. Not a hand without a beer, by the way.
No.
And a few darts.
Was this the guy who put the fire out? Yeah.
Double four. Double one. Charlie wins on debut at Champagne is fizzing.
The dart matches are insane. I mean, we talked about that guy a couple of weeks ago who walked out to that dart song and did all that. That's crazy that they fill these arenas up like this to watch people throw darts. I mean,
I would be there. I have a dartboard in my garage because of like watching European darts.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And that guy lost his mind, like put the firework out and then started punching the table because he lost.
Yeah. That was putting the fire out was enough for me to see something of
Doesn't that hurt?
Yes. Imagine you're putting out fire, man.
Have you seen, so Nikola Jokic talks about like the crowds back home in Serbia in the basketball games.
Yeah.
And there was a clip that surfaced of Brian Windhorst. I don't know if it was recently taken or if it's old, but it surfaced like last week of him at one of those games where those you've seen those crowds. They're just like it's like
rowdy.
It's like KU student section on steroids across the entire
mixed
lower
with
bowl.
Cameron
People
Indoor.
are just going nuts. And Brian Windhorst is just like in tears. He's like, I don't even know what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Being in a crowd, I mean, like that darts thing is electric. Just being in a scene like that would be amazing.
Imagine getting that hyped up though at a dart match. Seriously, I mean, like everybody's there, they're fired up, they're cheering for this guy. Like usually you throw darts, it's at the bar. It's like that. You're just doing that to kill time. Yeah, like this is like legit. How do those guys train? There's no running involved, is there?
In darts?
Yeah, like what do you do to train?
I mean, the guys?
Yeah, most of them are
pints on stage.
Yeah, so like they doing curls? I mean, I guess it's all just hand-eye coordination.
They're doing what is that little thing you squeeze to get your forearm strength? But the precision those guys have, I envy.
I know, it's crazy.
Like
it's
if you have a
nuts.
dartboard, I have it all like measured out because when you get a little liquid courage, you're like, hey, I have a dartboard. Like, wait, do you really? Like, let me back the car out real quick. Let's get out there, and you start playing cricket or 501, 301, whatever it may be. It's cool. So somebody says, I've been ice fishing. It's nothing like grumpy old Ben. My obscure bucket list is completing an Olympic triathlon.
Oh, God.
Which I will be doing in May of 26 in Belgium.
There you go. That's
Shout
awesome,
out,
man.
816.
Is it an Ironman or is it a regular? Either way, you're a stud.
Olympic triathlon.
Wow.
That just seems like something I'll never be able to even attempt to even read about.
That's like a marathon plus like a 2-mile swim and then like a 100-mile bike or 50-mile bike or something like that.
There's three things involved.
That's a lot, man. That good for you.
You'll like this one from the 314. Filled my bucket list item last weekend. Went to the Army-Navy game. It was awesome.
Awesome, yeah. It is that is a bucket list item, man. That's one of the coolest events that you can go to. I've been to like 3 or 4 of those in my childhood growing up, and it's special. It really is.
Somebody
man.
says Japanese baseball.
I've heard great things about that. My friend Ben
That'd
went to
probably be
Tokyo.
Nathan's.
Yeah, my
baseball guy.
friend Ben went to Tokyo a couple of months ago, and he's like, "Oh my God, the baseball games are just incredible. Everything is like coordinated in the stands, and it's a wild scene. Everybody loves it. I talk to scouts and whatnot in baseball who go over there all the time. They're like, it's just an insane environment. Like everybody's having fun. There's visitor sections and things of that nature too. Like,
did you see the old video when Bonds goes over there and hits like a piss missile at 500 feet, and they all just like, it's like they'd never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a juiced American athlete coming into your country. Watch this ball disappear.
Yeah.
And he does. He hits an absolute
and that's what the fans want.
Oh, they lost their mind.
Yeah,
They'd
of
seen
course.
like Matsui. They'd seen like all these greats like Ichiro and all that. And here comes Bonds. Boom. They're like, oh, get it. Okay, got it. Somebody says, ride a bull for 8 seconds. Well,
good luck.
Yeah, no
Good
doubt
luck,
about it. Somebody
yeah.
says, World Series of Poker playing at the final table. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think my nerves get there. I mean, once I got to where I got my money, like cash out, I'd be like, all right,
I'm out. See you later.
That's if you make it for the first 5 seconds.
Well, yeah.
A bucket list item might be, 119th and Null.
Yeah, 119th and all could be a bucket list item for other people. There's a lot going on with the stadium stuff right now, and we're getting down
So it's
to
not happening this week. Exactly. Soon.
I was told by a very well-placed source on Friday that we're going to have closure soon, is what I was told. And it was like these are the people that are involved. They want closure. Everybody wants closure. I think we are getting closure soon. And I'm going to set the odds at -125 that both end up in the state of Kansas. I think I'm going to start giving negative money on that right now. Yeah.
-125?
-125. Yeah. I think that's kind of where it's headed right now. That's just kind of the gut feeling that I get. Again, this stuff changes, like it's on a dime. The Royal stuff is interesting because from what I understand, they're still negotiating with the J and maybe T-Mobile about some potential stuff as well. But the state of Kansas has what they call the LCC meeting, and that's the group who eventually has to approve the Star Bond District. They have a meeting set for December 22nd. So you can take what you want from that and kind of figure out how all of that fits in. And especially with the end of the year coming fast, people want to see this thing resolved. And look, if you don't announce it this week or you wait till next week or the week after, it's the holiday time. You're going to lose a lot of buzz, on this thing. And so I think the Royals are kind of wrapping up discussions, hopefully soon, with the J, with T-Mobile. I've also heard a potential land swap going on, too, between the Royals and Black and Veatch. If everything doesn't work out well, they'll just swap plots of land.
With Brett Veatch?
Yeah, that's right, with Brett. Yeah, with Brett. But they're kind of across the street from each other on 115th Street. There has been talk of a land swap deal involving Black and Veatch and the Sprint campus. And then the stadium could, if they can't get the deal done that they want with the J or whatnot, then they could just move the stadium across the street to where Black and Veatch is right now, and Black and Veatch could potentially move into where the Sprint campus is. Chiefs, I've been told, are in talks with the city of Shawnee about something. What that is, you can kind of infer what you think that potentially could be, but a lot of people over in Shawnee now are signing NDAs when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Convos are still happening in Missouri for the Chiefs, and if they do decide to stay at Arrowhead again, it does require a public vote of a sales tax to help contribute. No taxes are being used on the Kansas side of the state line unless you use it, and of course that's the user tax, as we've been talking about for all of these months. I also love the fact that the folks in Leawood were complaining about this. I hate to break it to the folks in Leawood. 119th and Null, not your town. You don't have a say. And also from the other things that I've understood about that meeting that took place, 30% of the people in attendance were from Jackson County. And they were out there trying to rabble-rouse in Leawood about the potential stadium. So people can, yell and scream all they want, but that's the beauty of this thing being in the state of Kansas, or these stadiums potentially being in Kansas. There is no vote of the people required. If you do anything in the state of Missouri, then you have to go to a vote of the people. We know how that turned out last time. And so that's why we sit here with, I think potentially both of these teams, ending up in the state of Kansas, because I also think too, after watching the Mahomes injury, guys, I think that's another oh my, this is mortal. We better move fast on this, because if we don't build a new stadium when Patrick's playing, then we're probably never going to get that new stadium built for the Kansas City Chiefs. So for my sense, it just makes more sense to build a new stadium than invest in an old one. But, who am I to decide? It's up to Clark and his family. But, I think just the conversation that we're getting down to that nut-cutting time that everybody likes. Everybody wants to resolve today. We wanted it in June, for God's sakes, right? And I think everybody's kind of moving, Dusty, in that direction where I think we are going to see resolve sooner rather than later, hopefully on both, but I would think maybe at least on one before the end of this calendar year, because we've got to get moving. I mean, when you set a deadline of 2030, you got to start moving dirt when you're going to, build these stadiums. And it doesn't take, 2 seconds to build these beautiful big new stadiums. You've got to have that time. And so the clock is starting to tick on both of these teams to make a decision.
Somebody says from the 816, a representative from T-Mobile said they would leave if the Royals came.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And then somebody says, so basically everyone who's in the area is going to get paid off so they don't complain.
No, it's not getting paid off. I mean, you have to buy people out of their land. I mean, if they own something, you've got to, you got to take care of those people. You want that land because the J land does not belong to the Sprint campus. It is a completely separate piece of land that's on there. So is that Andretti spot where they are as well. And I think they're building a Capitol Grill and a tap house down there as well. Where that Andretti, that's different land as well. That's not Sprint campus land or Asperia land, however you want to say it. The J is not Asperia land, Sprint campus land either. And I've been told all along they'd like to have that J. They don't need the J land, but they'd like to have that J land. And so, of course, you would to tie that whole thing together. But there are the backup plans out there as well. So, I mean, it's so much minutia right now and maneuvering and money and millions and real estate. It all gets into the weeds. And, I get stuff every day on this kind of stuff, and I pick and choose kind of what to throw out there that makes sense for people. The minutia of this stuff is really mind-numbing for a lot of us, and it needs to end fast.
Somebody says, I'm really excited to have a dermatologist appointment and catch a game afterwards.
Yeah, I am too.
Your skin's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now put on some sunscreen and go enjoy the game.
I was supposed to have a dermatologist appointment on Thursday. Got dentist and dermatologist back-to-back. Getting old's fun.
Never thought, Nathan, that Bob would text into the text line during the show.
Oh, did I?
Huh. Yeah, apparently he did during the break.
Apparently.
My bucket list, yeah. I just want to make it through Christmas at my house with my wife's family.
Are you going to them, or are they coming to you at your house?
Yeah, it says.
See, I'd rather have people come to me than go to them, right?
You just get sauced at your couch and be like, yeah, leave when you want.
Yeah, you disappear, hide in the house or
you
whatever.
You know where the bong is.
Yeah, that's right. That's my dad 3 times, as my nephews did.
Below the sink, left of the drawers.
Hey, Uncle Bob, where's the bong? We don't have a bong here. I'm 75 years old, dude. So yeah, I'd rather spend the time at home. Where would you guys rather? Would you rather have the people come to you for the holiday,
Always.
or would you rather? Yeah,
always. I love to host poker. I love to host watch parties. All those are fine, unless it's like the big event. Like if somebody's gonna have a Super Bowl party, I don't want that. Or if but like playoff games, always my house.
Yeah.
But it comes with big responsibility. You got to provide the biggest part of the meal, at least in my opinion.
You do, and you can't mess it up. And that's where the anxiety for me comes in, that I'm going to cook for all these people and nobody's going to like it.
Just get a Traeger.
Yeah.
I think something you said at the start there, Dusty, is where I'm at. I prefer to host unless it's the really big event.
Yeah.
It's if we have the holidays there and we can get the trash bags out, we can keep the gift wrap, from getting all over the house. I don't want to have the house party where you wake up the next morning and there's Solo cups all over your house. That's what I don't want to have. Yeah. But I'd rather have it in my environment, even if that means cooking, hosting, whatever that is.
My favorite thing is like the pre going out hosting, where everybody's like, "Hey, we'll come over for a couple hours, have a few sodas, and then we'll leave." I'm like,
then
perfect.
We'll leave. Yeah, no, that is a good one too. But the other thing is, the flip side is, if you go somewhere else, you could just leave whenever you want, and you don't have to wait for, there's always a straggler or somebody won't go, and that kind of stuff, and you're ready for bed and these people are still here. Now, if you go somewhere, you've got the out time too. You can say, all right, we're out of here at 2 or whatever time it is,
If you're in my social circle, you prefer to host me, because I have no problem being the first one to be like, we're done eating. See you guys later. I'm out of here. And then everyone else I got to go too. Yeah, I got to work in the morning. I sort of follow late. I have no problem being that first one to say, hey, guys, I'll see you later, so that everyone else can then say, I got to get out of here.
Because we all know the greatest strategy when it's not at your place. You show up first, you leave first.
Yeah.
That's family.
Perfect.
That's friends. Hey, party starts at 7. All right, I'll be there at 7:15. Hey, how are you guys doing? Nobody's here yet? Oh, well, at least I'm here. You got me. And then, oh, wow, got to get out of here. Well, you just got here. No, I've been here 2.5 hours, but I got to get home. Okay, what are you going to do?
Not here.
Yeah. All right. No chance. So Mac out today. I assume he'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bad guts on that kid. But I will say this. He always has Max Pack. He had the Chiefs, I think, in the Max Pack until
yesterday.
13.
Yeah.
Closer to Max Pack, or are they closer to Bob's Bottom Feeders?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. I want to gauge your interest on this, because you could go either direction with this team. Are they closer to a top 5 team in the NFL, Or are they closer to a bottom 5 team in the NFL? I would say right now they're probably closer to a bottom 5 team in the NFL than a top 5 team in the NFL, with the lack of wide receivers, lack of defensive line, lack of quarterback right now, because you do have to factor that in as well. Gardner Minshew, is your starting quarterback at this point, no running back. I would think right now the Chiefs are closer to Bob's bottom feeders than they are to Max Pack at this point in time. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I don't think they're like in the same pool as like the Browns, the Jets, those teams.
Right.
But I think that the next tier up is where they're grouped, at least right now, with like, I don't know, the Saints, the Commanders, the Dolphins.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think they're in the pool of like the Titans, the Jets, the Browns, the Giants. I don't think they're in that pool, but I don't think that they're anywhere near. So I guess the answer would be they're closer to the bottom than they are obviously to the top. I mean, right now, what they're picking 14th?
Right. No, 11th.
11th,
yeah.
Yes, I mean, like, depending on how the Dolphins and Vikings finish this thing, they could pick in the top 10.
That's
The
right.
Chiefs really could pick in the top 10.
Absolutely. And so that's why I think they probably are at this point in time closer to that bottom feeder realm than they are to the, to the Max Pack and the top 5 that he picks every week. And, we'll reveal those coming up on Wednesday at about 7:20. But I know people are anticipating that. But, maybe we misjudged this roster all season long, guys. And we kept saying, this roster is really good. It's right there. And then kind of as the season went along, we realized maybe this roster wasn't as good as we thought. And then injuries, obviously, recently on the offensive line have settled in. But I think maybe we all kind of just misjudged this roster going into the season and thought maybe on paper it was better than it was. And then we saw it and we realized, wow, maybe this roster just got old really fast too.
I think the only thing that we as fans misjudged is the wide receiver room.
Okay.
I think with the drops, with just, with Worthy, it's like, is he more of a gadget guy or is he just hurt? With Rice, it's like, key drops, the routes, the effort, all, have you heard about that? Hollywood Brown's been nothing. Juju has been less than he was last year. I don't think any fans are shocked at the output of the running back room, for example.
Right.
And then I think when it comes to the pass rush, I think it's just like Spags isn't getting home. Like the blitzes aren't getting home as much. They've never been a dominant front four throughout the last couple of years of this run either. So I'm not sure if it's just like there's too many chinks in the armor and then eventually like things just sort of spilled over. For me, the big miss, though, was the wide receiver room. I thought this was going to be a dynamite group, and they haven't been good. Flat out have not been good.
No, they have not been good. Yeah, the wide receiver positioning group this year stunk out loud, and that really is upsetting because they had a lot of hope and a lot of promise, for that wide receiver group. And the reason I asked the question is so we can really all start having a realistic view of what happened, but also what's going to come for this team. And if we're looking at it and the three of us are saying, hey, I feel they're closer to a bottom feeder team than a Max Pack top 5 team, when they start making changes this offseason and people are no longer here, you have to understand why they're no longer here, because you're coming off a team that just wasn't that good this year, and it really does need a facelift at a lot of different areas on the field, more so than off the field. But on the field, it needs a lot of facelifting. It needs a lot of youth movement. It needs a lot of younger guys kind of coming in and starting this regime over, because I think when we look at it and we start to, really get down into the weeds of this thing, they, this season just didn't put the best product out there on the field, and a lot of changes do need to happen this offseason.
Somebody says, I'm just going to go on the record here by saying that look at the teams that have the similar records as the Chiefs. I think they're better than those teams. Maybe in years past, but not this year.
But not this year. That's the thing. We kept saying that all year long. Oh, in a one-game playoff, Well, the Chiefs had all these one-game playoffs, Dusty, from week 9 to where we are right now. And we all said, oh, nobody wants to see the Chiefs get in the playoffs. The Chiefs' playoffs essentially started, after the bye, and they're 1-4. So I don't know why all these folks were sitting there saying, oh, I don't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs. The Chiefs have been in the playoffs since week 10, and they've stunk, and they haven't been any good. And the only win they got was against an Indianapolis team that they barely beat. They didn't lead in that game whatsoever until the final play of overtime where they won that game. And so, people kept saying, oh, this is a playoff team. I don't want to see them in the playoffs. Well, they've been playing playoff games for the last 5 weeks, and they haven't done anything with that.
Well, also, I think they're better too, but if they're playing one of those teams that's 6-8, 7-7, are you 6? Are you running it well? Yeah, I purposely didn't say 6-7, Dusty. But if they're playing the Vikings or the Panthers this week, are you slamming the Chiefs money line? I'm not.
No.
I think they're closer to a bottom 5 team.
Yep.
I'm not worried about next season though, because there are ways to create cap space that are so easy. I think they're going to be able to have a version of that free agency class where they went out and got Ty Matthew and Frank Clark, as well as a premium draft pick they haven't had in the past. So I think you're going to get a lot of new young blood this offseason in there. As of right now, I don't see how you could say they're closer to being a top 5 team.
Yeah.
They're closer to being a bottom 5 team.
Tough seasons equal tough moves. Chiefs going to Tennessee this week as 3.5-point favorites. So, yeah, over under 37.5. That's got to be the lowest over under for a Chiefs game in the last 5 years.
That's crazy. 37.5. Wow.
For reference, this week, Cleveland and Chicago in the -20 wind chill game, the over under was 38.5.
I mean, I don't know how Mac's going to recover, so I might not be in anymore this week. Titans money line, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's plus 160.
Like, that's easy?
You think the Titans are winning this thing?
Yeah, I think
I hope. Right? So keep going down. Keep going. Who's on the board?
Like,
that is true. Now is the time where you don't care if you win game. Now you're out of it. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The Chiefs
absolutely.
are holding out guys like McDuffie and Trey Smith and Juwan Taylor. You have to imagine, right? That's not breaking news, but like guys that are struggling to come back, you're not pushing them back. At
Not
this
for
point in the
this.
season,
No,
right?
there's no reason to.
So for the Titans, this is like Cam Ward's big like. The moment that they hold on to for the rest of the offseason. We beat even though it's Gardner Minshew and Chu Godric, we beat the Chiefs. Right? Like that's what this is.
Like I said, the over under is 37.5. You want to guess what the over under is in the Jets Saints game?
38.
I'd say about 41.
40.5.
Okay.
Yeah, low scoring game. Should be fun.
Wow.
So red zone at noon. Coming up on the other side, we'll get to a tough Tuesday plus. We'll get to something that is easy money and, well, easy decision for Phillip Rivers as well. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Bob Fescoe.
I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
And Dusty Likens.
He's a hoe, and I want that known.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens. Let me tell you about my friends over at GiveMeTheVin.com because I'm sure you've got a car that you're trying to get rid of. Well, I can tell you how to do it easily with GiveMeTheVin.com because they want to buy your car, whether it is your daily driver pickup truck, SUV, minivan, supercar, or exotic. So say goodbye to dealing with all those dealerships and private sale tire kickers and get a true buy offer for your car. GiveMeTheVin.com puts your car right on the money, providing you with a hassle-free online option to sell your car for more. It's as simple as going to GiveMeTheVin.com and entering your car's VIN number or license plate number. You'll get an offer on your car in minutes. That is way above any dealer quote. You can go to one of their pickup locations or they'll even come to you. It's as easy and it's fast. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer. Hit it, boys.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, it's Cody and Gold telling you about our friends over at Centric, where your career in tech can start. Just take it from Becky, who's in charge of student success.
Hi, I'm Becky Sears, Student Success Advisor at Centric. My role is really about supporting students, whether that's with their coursework, time management, or just learning to be a student again. I'm here to help students succeed every step of the way.
Over 1,800 companies have hired Centric grads, a 95% student retention rate in 2024, and an 18-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. Find out more. Go to Centric.com and talk to our buddy Russ.
With the first pick in the McDonald's breakfast draft, I'm going with a tasty sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle sandwich. Bold move, sweet, savory, totally stacked. But wait, that delicious sausage McMuffin with egg sandwich is still on the board. Lucky for me, McD lets you mix and match two for just $5. And right now, any size iced coffee is only $1.89. Breakfast at McDonald's. That's the real winning deal. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/value for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/value for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/value.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips has arrived in Missouri. Circus Sports is sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service, Circus Sports is better for the better. From football to basketball, college sports to pro, start betting like the pros in Missouri. Built for sports bettors by sports bettors. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. For problem gambling, call the Problem Gamblers Helpline at 1-800-522-4700.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats and sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
Thanks for calling the Holiday Gift Line from the Missouri Lottery. If you still have presents to buy, don't panic. Missouri Lottery holiday scratchers and draw games are perfect for everyone on your list 18 and over. And you don't even need a gift receipt. Happy holiday gifting from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri Sun and Lee Summit, US 50 westbound heavy from 291 south up past 3rd Street with an accident blocking the left lane. Past that, things are a little sluggish heading into the 470 interchange with an accident there. Alan Carr, 96 pound the fan, traffic.
Well, we told you about the line in the game of the Chiefs and the Titans. 37.5 is the over-under. Chiefs minus 3.5. Maybe not the easiest way to make money, but you know how to make the easiest money? Patrick Mahomes, comeback player of the year next year. I mean, that's
that's a lock, right? I think that is a lock for everybody right now. The Patrick Mahomes comeback player of the year. Get your money in right now on that. You know, and I don't know what the number is going to be.
I also don't know if you can bet it right now.
Yeah.
But obviously, when the season comes to a conclusion and they get new, fresh odds, he will probably be high up there when it comes. Because right now, I think the winner in the clubhouse or the leader in the clubhouse is Christian McCaffrey. So Christian McCaffrey right now minus 210. You want to guess who's second?
Dak.
Dak's plus 700. So is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but see, you can't come back from sucking.
Was he gone?
No. He stunk.
Aiden Hutchinson is plus 3,500. Second overall best odds, depending on where you get them, Phillip Rivers plus 500.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's insane for Phillip Rivers to be
120 yards passing, got a loss, played football. But he's comeback player of the year, and good for him because, boy, we know why he came back.
Yeah, we do. I mean, they're reporting it. He came back because of insurance. I mean, we've all been there, right? You have to pay for that insurance, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I got to find a job with better benefits. And so I guess what happens is when you're a fully vested player in the NFL in your pension, I don't know how many years that is for an NFL player in baseball. It's 10. But in the NFL, he's a fully vested guy in his pension, and because of that, they give you family health benefits for free for the first 5 years after your career. Well, what just happened? Phillip Rivers looked at his watch and went, oh, the 5 years are up. I've got 17 kids and grandkids. I need insurance. I'm going back to work. Clock resets. He now gets insurance for the next 5 years after this because he came back. It is a genius move by Phillip Rivers to reset that insurance clock to go back so he doesn't have to write that thing out of pocket for all those kids and grandkids that he has right now.
First of all, isn't the comeback player of the year just kind of what injured superstar gets healthy?
Well, it has been.
It should be.
But then they started giving to who sucked the year
still
before.
Still a dumb award, even if that's what it is.
Burrow's won it twice. I think Dak was the favorite most of the year. Then McCaffrey's just been a freak.
So it'll be Mahomes or Micah Parsons next season.
Oh, Parsons too. That's a good one.
Or Burrow.
Or Burrow potentially. Maybe, but he's back this year.
Yeah, they said he's going to play the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But back to Phillip Rivers, I guess is he not like a public school faculty member as that football coach in high school? Because if not, he probably needs those benefits.
Yeah, and here's how it works in school. I know how it works for the district in which my wife is in. She gets her benefit free, but you have to pay for everybody else to come alongside of you. And so the NFL's giving it for free. I'll go out there and get sacked a few times for free bennies.
Yes.
It is a Tuesday. In the 6 o'clock segment, so we do have a tough Tuesday here. Mine is going to go to Ryan Clark for this snidbit of audio.
But Micah Parsons is hurt because of Bo Nix. And I'm not saying it's one of those things that's Bo Nix's fault, but the violence in which Micah Parsons had to chase Bo Nix the entire second half was extremely evident, whether it was the touchdown to Bandy, the throw to Troy Franklin, getting outside the pocket and finding Lil Jordan Humphrey. You could see that Micah Parsons was the one person in pursuit of Bo Nix the entire day. And on the injury and on the play he was hurt, Bo Nix attempted to get outside. He found Mims, and you could see Micah redirect in order to keep him in the pocket. That was part of what he'd seen the entire night and the way Bo Nix was able to attack that defense. Bo Nix was amazing last night, and it's sad you lose a great player like Micah Parsons, but it was because of the effort he needed to give in order to get to Denver's quarterback.
I mean, he could have just stopped
But Micah
right here.
Parsons is hurt because of Bo Nix.
Okay. I don't know if he just didn't know what he was supposed to do at that moment, so he just started rambling. But Micah Parsons is hurt because of Bo Nix. Tough Tuesday for Ryan Clark.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's phrasing, there's better way to put it. I mean, talk about how great Bo Nix is. Like, why can't we do that? Why does it have to relate, to the Micah Parsons injury? Micah Parsons got injured because Micah Parsons got injured, just like Patrick Mahomes got injured. He's out there playing in an NFL game. It's not the fact or the fault of anybody that either of those guys were injured and down on their luck. So anyway, I think it's a ridiculous take by Ryan Clark. Is he trying to say that Bo Nix is a really good football player, or is he really trying to blame Bo Nix for Micah Parsons being injured? Because if we're going to do that, then we're going to start blaming anybody who's in the area of anybody that's getting injured on the football field. Nathan, you got one?
I've got to give it to the Bengals organization. So obviously the Burrow news broke last week when he gave that press conference, and we all sort of said, oh, is this an Andrew Luck moment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you think about Cincinnati the last few years, we've hung our hat on maybe they built their team the wrong way. They paid all their receivers, but that offense is still elite. And now, if Burrow stays healthy, they can be in games because that unit is so good. They get blanked by the Ravens on Sunday. So their first game after being eliminated, they get shut out by the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So that compounds your quarterback who is now having some sort of an, existential, crisis when it comes to his career in football. You got Jamar Chase saying on Sunday, I just got to be there for him no matter what he's going through. There's all these cryptic things happening, and then this great offense gets shut down immediately. So I'm really watching what they look like the rest of this year, if they're playing with pride or if they're going through the motions, because I think Zach Taylor's needed to be. I think he should have long been fired, but they're going to have to make massive overhauls if they even keep their quarterback going into next season. So tough Tuesday for me is the Bengals.
Yeah, he may they may have the greatest lottery ticket in the history of the NFL right now with Joe Burrow and have the opportunity to cash that thing in. And I do think the Cincinnati Bengals need to trade Joe Burrow this offseason. That clearly seems like a marriage. I'm going to stay in Ohio for my tough Tuesday, and I'm going to go up north a little bit to Cleveland, where Kevin Stefanski was giving Shedeur Sanders the wrong armband, allegedly, to wear out there to try to mess with him, allegedly, is now what the story has become in Cleveland. The trust factor with this Kevin Stefanski guy and Shedeur Sanders right now is next to zero. I don't know if you can get any lower with the trust that both of those guys have together. There's going to need to be changes in Cleveland as well. And if this coach is really going out there and giving the wrong armband to the quarterback to try to set him up for failure, that is grounds for termination at this point in time. And you should move on from Kevin Stefanski, regardless of his two, Coach of the Year honors and whatnot. That just seems like a marriage in Cleveland. It reminds me of the end of the Todd Haley situation here in Kansas City, where he looked like a homeless dude, grew a beard, embarrassed himself, tried to embarrass the family to try to get fired. And that's ultimately what happened. I feel like this is the same thing with Kevin Stefanski right now. He's not quitting, which is smart, but he's trying to find ways to get fired so he can cash in the rest of that contract and walk away, of which I don't blame him. But the tough Tuesday for him, because if you're giving players the wrong plays on purpose, you should be blackballed from the league, quite honestly.
I didn't know the sponge is supposed to be wet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that audio, and I'm like, well, he said the quarterback's armband got wet. Tough Tuesday could also go to one of the most brutal endings to a football game I've ever seen in my life.
A Shaw player took off his helmet thinking that was the ball game. For St. Charles Catholic was done by Kriston McQuain. I blocked it, and look at this. Look at this. St. Charles Catholic's got new life. Redemption on his mind. High snap, they get it down, it heads to the uprights. It is good! Oh my goodness! From heartbreak to hero.
So for those of you that missed that story of where that audio is coming from, there was a high school game for state title this weekend. And one of the kids who thought the game was over, when all they had to do was kneel the ball down, decided to take his helmet off. And, threw it up in the air. The refs called a flag, right? So he took his helmet off. They had to kneel it down. They had to then punt. The punt is blocked by the opposing team. The opposing team gets the field goal. You hear the audio. They kick the field goal. They lose the state championship.
Yeah, well, that's Dwayne Rudd 2.0 all over again. I mean, you can't do that kind of stuff.
Part of this too, then, like the kicker. So the team that was trailing was
what
down
state
by
is
7.
This in?
I want to say Louisiana.
Okay, it was in Louisiana.
So they were down by 7. They scored a touchdown. All they had to do was make the extra point to tie the game. They miss it. So with like 50 seconds left, oh my God, we're winning state championship. This helmet toss is on first down. So the defense still has 2 timeouts. They just weren't going to call them because the math didn't work out. They were just going to let him knee the game out. The kid tosses his helmet, timeout for the penalty. Well, now it's like timeout on second down, timeout on third down, block the punt, go down. Kicker gets another shot. 40 seconds of game time later, nails it. They win state. Like, dude, yeah, that lineman that tossed his helmet.
I think I'm enrolling into a new high school.
Well,
100%.
I mean, but you can't do that kind of stuff. I mean, we've known this for years. You don't throw your helmet up into the air. That's on them. Sorry, pal. I mean, Dwayne Rudd did it and changed the whole NFL game. And changed really, I think that was 2002, but I don't think it changed the season all that much. But I mean, that changed that game. And since then, he's like, don't throw your helmet. Coaches preach that kind of stuff all the time. Keep your helmet on at all times. And so that kid, I mean, sorry, pal, you screwed your team. You really did.
I think that's one of those. I think that season when Dwayne Rudd did that, the Chiefs riled off like 8 in a row.
It was opening day, though. Was it 03 or was it 02? I can't remember. If it was 03, then they did. They won 9 in a row to start that thing. But I can't remember what year exactly it was. It was somewhere either 01, 02, or 03. And 01, they were 6-10. 02, they were 8-8.
It was 02.
It was 02, so they were 8-8 that year, yeah.
Damn. Morton Anderson, shout out. Game-winning field goal. Coming up on the other side, I see a lot of people say they want certain guys back. I might have a theory of what you could do next year in a way that I don't know if it makes sense or not. We'll explain here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Morning, Kansas City. This is Trey Smith, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sports fans in Missouri can sign up for BetMGM using bonus code DUSTY and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet does not win. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day. Get into hockey, basketball, and pro football with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sign up today using bonus code DUSTY to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Minimum deposit of $10 to participate. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start treatment, you'll wish you'd done it sooner. All the guys I know go to Synergen X and Low T Center for their TRT needs. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars. The test is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. So get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. We'll help you find last-minute gifts that don't look last-minute, even if you're still planning to propose. At Shane Company, we'll show you perfect gifts at perfect prices, in stock and ready to give. Like hand-matched diamond studs, 14-karat gold chains, or the ultimate gift, a beautiful engagement ring. We have longer store hours, so you can skip the crowds and shop when you want, or visit us at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This holiday season, give your family, clients, and coworkers the gift of Booth Creek Wagyu beef. Booth Creek Wagyu gift boxes provide the world's best steaks, burgers, hot dogs, jerky, sausages, and seasonings that are changing the way America eats beef. Choose from mouth-watering options like the classic sirloin box for less than $100, or go big with the amazing Grill Masters Reserve box. Order yours today at boothcreekwagyu.com or visit one of their 2 convenient locations at 95th and Knoll or 135th Street in Metcalf.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part, you can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. Has a yellow lid and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
Chiefs coverage this past hour has been brought to you by WaysideWaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
Wayside rescues thousands of animals each year. Your gift today provides a complete circle of life-saving care they need to heal and find loving homes. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit WaysideWaves.org to make your life-saving gift today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
East side 70 westbound getting heavy from Jackson Avenue up to 18th Street with an accident blocking the right lane. And then in Lee's Summit, US 50 westbound very heavy from 291 south all the way up past 3rd Street with an accident blocking a lane there. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's George Karloftis. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Flags come down, and Tate is forced
is going on. That's a defensive penalty. The game can't end on a defensive penalty.
Gammon will snap it. Straczynski will hold it. Morton Anderson, the oldest player in the NFL. 30 yards away. Anderson. He nails it. Kansas City wins.
And Dwayne Rudd goes down as making one of the biggest mistakes in Cleveland Browns history.
That was 2001. Deerdorf, there were a lot more to come after that. Dwayne Rudd is one of the biggest mistakes in Cleveland Browns history. Since then, we've had Baker Mayfield cut, Deshaun Watson signed, Shedeur Sanders drafted in the same draft as another quarterback. I mean, God, if that was the worst thing that the Cleveland Browns have done, hold my beer, Deerdorf. Let me tell you about the next 25 years and what it's going to be like for those Browns up in Cleveland, man. Oh, my God.
I also love that he gave reference to Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Let's say you're a bonehead and you take your helmet off on a defensive play. Well, you can't end the game on a defensive penalty. And then a fire erupts in Cleveland Brown Stadium.
Yeah, that's great. That was a good poll by you, Nathan. Way to go.
It was fun. I forgot all about that until you brought that up in the last segment. So that was a fun trip down memory lane. I was very young.
I think the hero in that whole entire thing is John Tate.
Yeah.
He picked the ball up and just
Start running.
Yeah. He knew.
Yeah, exactly. He just started
He's like,
running.
wait a minute, this is a live ball.
Yeah.
All the way down to the 5, and Morton's like, I think I got that.
I got this. We're good to go. Morton Anderson
was the oldest guy in the NFL then, and he's my age today.
Yeah. But
38-year-old Morton Anderson, oldest guy in the NFL. I'm like, God, dog, man.
I mean, but think about that. You know, you had Kendall Gammon as the long snapper. Dan Straczynski, who I totally forgot about, was the punter/holder, and then Morton Anderson kicking it through, and, you know, Grandpa Anderson at that point in time. You're right. 38 years old is what you are today. It puts it into perspective.
And he's rocking the single bar
handle.
handle.
Oh, yeah. That was some good stuff back then, man.
Some good stuff back then is what a lot of people have I've seen on Twitter and, you know, Facebook posts and all this sort of stuff. And I want to emphasize on consider is the key word, right? Consider. Because I know you guys have seen it. If I've seen it, we've all seen it. I feel that our algorithms are pretty much the same, being around each other quite a bit, that everybody wants Eric Bieniemy back. I think there is a role for Eric Bieniemy on this team, and I'll explain. I think you bring him back to be the running backs coach. Does that not make sense? Because you and I both clowned last week that Todd Pinkston is the running backs coach with what we think with no credential, right? He's a wide receiver.
Miscast.
Yes. The two things that the Chiefs have to do this offseason is revamp and readjust. And they kind of need, in my opinion, a little bit of that red-ass discipline. And I don't know who else would do that on the team if they're allowed, but it seemed that was kind of like Bieniemy's role, right? If he was the offensive coordinator, we know he wasn't calling the plays. We know it was Andy. That was the narrative then. It's the narrative now with Nagy and all this sort of thing.
And everybody in between.
Right. And so that, I think, is a role where Bieniemy can come in, where he can still kind of be that role, but also be in charge of the running backs. We know that the two skill sets we have seen on this team that have taken a dive over the last couple of years has been the wide receiver room and the running backs room, right? You have a running backs coach coaching the wide receivers, and you have a wide receiver coaching the running backs.
That's right.
Make it make sense. 6 and 8. And I think that if you brought in a running back to be, let's just say, for instance, you go with the mock drafts and they take Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, would be amazing, right? I don't think that's going to happen, but let's say it does. Why not bring in a voice like Bieniemy that could keep people accountable, right? That's why, like, LaShawn McCoy got all pissy at the end of his career because he was getting yelled at and just stop fumbling the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you fumbled, man. Like, that part you seem to forget.
And you have somebody who actually has the credentials to coach running backs, right? And I think that would fit that there. Also, would you consider a guy like Tyreek Hill to come back? Now, I know you don't want to do the running back thing. I know you don't want to have old players come in here, but they did it with Kareem. And I'm not here to pick and choose on who was and who, you know, it has a worse history, but they had that meeting with Kareem Hunt. And we always had said before, you close one door, it never opens again. Well, there's an opportunity because you're going to have Patrick Mahomes, what we think, be out a couple of games, at least what I'm predicting. that he might be out until like week 4 or 5 of next week's season.
I think if you're planning on him to be there opening day at this point in time, that's kind of a foolish way to approach it. You have to take the conservative approach.
High hopes, and maybe it works.
And maybe it does, and maybe we're wrong, but I still wouldn't plan on it.
And if you do that, because everybody says, well, the offense was so much better when Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy were on the same. Well, Mahomes was also younger. They also had Tyreek Hill. And if you need that crutch, no pun intended, when you've got coming back from an injury to an ACL and now what we hear is an LCL, and you want that deep threat and you want that offense back, why not kick the tires and see what you can do? Now, I know that contract is big, and I know that you'd have to have some sort of like whatever it may be, but we're in desperation mode right now. You're out of the playoffs for the first time since 2014. You're in a complete rebuild, and you could have that deep threat that everybody wants, that everybody says, well, they drafted Worthy, they drafted McCole Hardman to replace what was Tyreek Hill. I don't know if it's going to happen, but also another thing that you could have is that we don't like what the receiver development has been. Why not go ask Jeremy Maclin or Deshaun Jackson if they'd like to get into coaching and maybe come coach some receivers?
Well, Jeremy Maclin is coaching at Kirkwood right now, I think, and whatnot. It's a lot of work. I don't know if people want to do that made all that money in the NFL. That's why they don't. But there's a couple of things. Number one, for me, I am not interested in putting the band back together. We've done that. We've seen that happen. It never works, right? Like it doesn't. We love nostalgia, but in sports, nostalgia is not something that we should ever go back to. Guys are older. Guys have been gone. Guys have done their thing. I'm speaking more on Tyreek Hill for this point than I am for Eric Bieniemy at this point in time because Tyreek Hill is also older. He's coming off that wicked ass knee injury. There's no guarantee. Like I have more confidence that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to be the old Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill could be the old Tyreek Hill because of how much speed and push off and acceleration and all that kind of stuff, that he, is good at. And then also he's older too now. He's in his 30s right now. The difference between him and Kareem Hunt for me is desperation. Kareem Hunt was signed mid-season, right? Week 4 or whatever that was, week 3.
Out of desperation.
Out of desperation. You're going into an offseason. You should never be desperate going into the offseason where you have to find a wide receiver that's a has-been and bring him in, or an offensive lineman that's a has-been. I think those panic signings, if this was week 3 of the NFL season and Tyreek Hill was scratching his ass and you needed somebody, maybe I would consider it, but you're going into the offseason. You need a better plan than Tyreek Hill going into the offseason. I think that plan just sucks. But desperation, mid-season, it's something to have a conversation about. The Eric Bieniemy thing to me is interesting as a potential running back coach. What's his title in Chicago? Would he be able to? Is he he's not the assistant head coach or anything up there?
I don't know that much. I just know that he is the running backs coach.
And so you have to factor that in as well. But you also let Eric Bieniemy go for a reason, right?
He was your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but you also let him go. You could have kept him around and done some other things with him if you really wanted to keep Eric Bieniemy in the fold. I think that marriage was just over at that point in time. Sometimes marriages just end. Whose fault is it? I don't know. It's just time to break up. It's time to move on. The guy was on a bus by himself at the last Super Bowl parade. Like that to me was very eye-opening. I'm just not a big fan of throwing the thing back together and putting the band back together. I'd like to go out there and get new blood, get new young blood, and start this thing over 2.0. Like break away from the past as much as you possibly can and start to move forward and create a new identity for this franchise, because Tyreek Hill and Eric Bieniemy to me are Band-Aids when you can draft younger guys or maybe hire a different coach that could be a long-term solution for you. I'd rather invest in the potential long-term than going out there. I just feel like those two moves are panic moves and desperation moves. And I don't feel like this organization is in that spot where they have to panic and go into desperation mode right now.
But you would agree that he would be an upgrade to your running back coach in the running back room?
Eric Bieniemy? Yes. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do think that would be an upgrade. But again, I don't know how they left. I don't know, do you hate each other? Can you work together? What the dynamic was? I mean, they were trying to push Eric Bieniemy out the door for a couple of years and nobody would hire him, So I don't know how that relationship could work. The older I get, the more I'm like, I got to put the band back together. It just never works, man. Like the reboots of TV shows and things like that. You're like,
I think in an offseason where you're going to have a lot of moving parts and a lot of new blood, having a certain thing at running back coach sounds pretty good. I don't think a better running back coach necessarily would have been the difference in this year's running game. But like knowing the Chiefs are going to draft a guy, hopefully early in the draft this year, and like knowing you're getting a red ass to like help instill that ground and pound. Like I'm for that. I'm in on him as your running coach if the relationship is fine. I got to pass on Tyreek Hill. I think coming off the injury, he's not going to be what he used to be. And then like you've got the speed guys on the roster. You've got Worthy. You can tender Thornton if you want. I think a big possession, like man-beating receiver is all I'm interested in that room.
Yeah, I'm interested in a bigger guy. Yeah, I like Thornton
draft.
too. Yeah, you got to draft a bigger, taller wide receiver. And it's a good point on the running back room. Would he have made a difference this year? Probably not. It ultimately comes down to the players that you have, and the running back room was pretty much empty this year.
Right. Coming up on the other side, we get with D. Hughes in the news. Dana Hughes will join us on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
This is Fescoe and Dusty. Tune in to hear from ESPN's Nate Taylor every Thursday at 8:20, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what my friends over at West Shore Home are saying to you right now. Hey, schedule your consultation with us because you know what? It's going to be easy and it's going to be simple. And you're thinking to yourself, all right, what do the folks at West Shore Home do? Well, they do so many awesome things. First and foremost, doors and windows. And at this time of the year when it's cold, you know when you need a new door or potentially new windows. It's actually the perfect time of year to kind of walk around your house and feel where that breeze is coming through. And if you feel it coming through windows or a door, then it's time to replace them. Maybe you need new bedroom doors. Well, you can do that with West Shore Home as well. And they know that home remodeling shouldn't be stressful. And West Shore Home is proving it doesn't have to be. With real-time scheduling and precision scan-to-plan accuracy, they'll make your remodel fast, easy, and convenient. That's why hundreds of thousands of homeowners have trusted West Shore Home to perform their bathrooms, windows, and doors. Plus, right now, when you buy a full bath remodel, you'll get a second shower for free. So lock in an extra $500 off just for listening to the show. But here's what you need to do. Schedule now at westshorehome.com/fan. That's westshorehome.com/fan.
Newton James is Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. They redefine what menswear should be with the best designers from the US, the UK, and Japan. Their new seasonal collection just dropped, but the most popular colors and modern cuts always go first. So check them out today. Whether it's a suit for a holiday party, a winter wedding, or a sharp everyday fit, get the best look while your size is still in stock. At Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or newtonjames.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
In Lee's Summit, US 50 westbound, very heavy hit delays around 291 north. Stays very slow, just crawling up past 3rd Street with an accident. You're down to one left lane getting by. East side 70 westbound, earlier problem at 18th Street has cleared. No delays coming in from 470. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
We'll get to Danny Hughes here in just a little bit. He'll join the shows he does every Tuesday at 7:20. Mahomes has successful surgery last night,
right,
in Dallas to repair the ACL. We found out the LCL as well. And then it just said rehab begins now.
Yeah,
like,
immediately. Yeah, we know. Like, he was probably rehabbing last night, right? Like, I'm sure today, Dusty, knowing who Patrick Mahomes is, I'm sure we'll probably get pictures and whatnot of him, leaving the hospital or starting to lift or, whatever the case may be. But this is going to be Patrick Mahomes' toughest offseason that he's ever had, obviously, and leading up to the start of the season. And this year, in this offseason, it's usually about getting better, right? And working on those things that you need to do, or maybe establishing kind of a rapport with your receivers and the new guys that come in. This offseason is going to be all about Patrick Mahomes trying to rehab and get that leg back, and that knee back, so he's able to go, when opening day rolls around or shortly thereafter, opening day. So, I mean, it's going to be a completely different offseason for Patrick Mahomes. I'm interested to see how he balances getting ready by himself, for himself, and then doing all the stuff that he normally does with, Pat Camp and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how he balances this offseason because he's never had one like this before.
Yeah, that and not only, how he balances, what he looks like moving forward. Like, are we going to see, the same type of runs outside the pockets? I think that will probably be limited.
Right.
But also, could he be more damaging if he is just a straight drop back passer? And I think another thing that could go in the offseason is to maybe, have, more gelling or maybe more trust in what is your offensive line.
Yeah.
Because what we can agree on is that the one thing they don't need to do in this offseason really is offensive line work, right? Like, you think you have basically what your offensive line is for the future. And, you've got the kid they drafted at Ohio State.
Right.
You've got your left guard and Suamataia. You have your center. You have your right guard, and you have your right tackle, right? It's going to be Jalen Moore next year. Your
Most
right
likely, or maybe it's this Pole kid or who. But yeah,
you got be your sixth lineman off the bench, which is a good have to have there. Caliendo probably maybe come back and give him a cheap contract.
And then that guy Godsmack that was playing the other day out there. I mean, you got him coming back as well.
I really hope that's his name.
I do too. It's something like that. So I hope he's coming back as well. No, so I think you're right about that. But there also has to be a trust buildup between, Patrick Mahomes and that offensive line, because I think Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion anyway, and this is the way that I view it, and I could be wrong, and maybe I am, but it sure seems like his first instinct was to bail out of that pocket as opposed to going out there and sticking with that pocket. And I think at times that probably hurt, not physically, but hurt Patrick Mahomes in this offense, that he was so busy looking to get out of the pocket as opposed to, being that guy who stays in, the pocket and has the trust in his offensive line. But it's hard to have trust in something or someone when they have proven to you over the years that they're not going to be trustworthy. And for 2 years, Patrick Mahomes had to deal with an offensive line really not getting the job done. So put yourself in his shoes, right? How much harder is it for you as a human being to trust somebody or something that's already wronged you, right? I mean, it's hard to build that trust back up. And so Patrick Mahomes has to do that because the offensive line, in my opinion, was not an issue this year. I thought it was more on Patrick than it necessarily was on the offensive line.
Yeah, because you look at I think Josh Simmons, obviously the issue he had, and I don't want to say it's an issue. He just had like a family thing that he had to get fixed up, and then came back and it was friendly fire, freak accident, right?
Right.
And then you have him coming back next year, who kind of knows the schedule of the NFL, the ways it goes, and then you look at left guard. Suamataia was a great surprise. Like he was, what you could say demoted from left tackle to left guard. It worked out.
Yep.
Creed Humphrey is your guy. Trey Smith is your guy. And I think that they will get out of the contract of Juwan Taylor and move Jalen Moore there, or whatever Esapole can also do as well.
Right.
So I think when you look at that and you kind of look at what Patrick Mahomes had happened to him this year, where it was like, inevitably like running around all year, eventually finally got him wear and tear, and it collapsed, right? The knee got injured. I think that when you look at the situation that could change next year, which could create that sort of pocket passer for Patrick Mahomes, is you've got to, get into his mind like, hey, this is your wall. It's fine. Let's, whatever that, if it's the tennis ball test from the old Madden plays back in the day where you duck and you move and you get him to that point, and then all of a sudden you tell yourself, hey, we've also got this new running back in here. We're going to incorporate more running plays. We saw what we did last year that didn't work in the last couple of years. We're going to do this again and try to figure this out. That's going to take some time off of you. And then all of a sudden, you could be lethal if you can trust and you can have those options open. Now, you know that you're going to have a revamped wide receiver room. I think the two on the roster coming back next year will be Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy.
Barring a trade, yes. Yeah.
And then everybody else, you would think Juju, Thornton, all those guys, Hollywood Brown, not going to be on the team.
I would bring Thornton back, though. Would you bring Thornton back?
I'm not against it.
Yeah,
I think he's been your best deep option,
yeah.
right? If you want to have that sort of nugget in your offense. And then you have to think about the hole that you might have at tight end, right? I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, why not go out for Kyle Pitts money? You hate that.
Yeah.
You and Alex, father, son, total anti-Kyle Pitters, which I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It was a big game on a national broadcast, and he goes nuts.
It shows you who the character is of a true person. You play noon on Sunday with Spiro Didi's calling your game, and you put up those same numbers, okay? You don't save those for the prime time.
And maybe that was one of those situations where it finally clicked. I don't know, right? Sometimes it happens in life. Like you start to figure things out when you're 31, or maybe you figure things out when you're 22. Now, his rookie year, he was good. He was really good. He had 1,000 yards. And then they kind of had the up and down at quarterback play. And then Kirk Cousins goes in there, and he's a gunslinger, threw for over 300 that game, and he found where Kyle Pitts was. Maybe that's something that kind of jolts him into that spot. Or maybe to your theory, that was, hey, man, I really want to get a second contract in the NFL.
Yep.
I better start showing my talents and my skill set, and this game right here will get me paid. I don't know. I don't know where to believe, but I would take, the first part and think that this guy was drafted 4th overall out of the University of Florida. He's a freak athlete. He's got the talent, got the skill set, and maybe you have the theory of new face, new place.
Maybe, but I wouldn't go out there and break the bank for a guy who
No,
I consider.
I'm not saying that.
He's a grifter at this point in time for me in the NFL. I hate when athletes do not do what they're supposed to do, and then the bright lights are on. The contract years, as the late Trez Paler used to say, is always undefeated, and that's why for me, when I look at the way the guys produce in their contract year, I really can't factor that in, because why haven't you been doing that all along? Where has that effort been? Where has that production been throughout your entire career? And so I look at a guy like Kyle Pitts as a guy who had an opportunity and took advantage of that opportunity and probably will get some sort of payday off of that opportunity. But I just think this offseason has to be approached where you're looking at Patrick Mahomes now in a different light than maybe you've looked at him in the past. And you have to look at Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion right now, as a guy who needs that help, is older, and you've got to start protecting Patrick Mahomes. And that means you have to start bringing in that running game, and you have to bring in better weapons around Patrick Mahomes, because he can't continue to carry, this team forward, because it's just physically impossible at some point, right? You just get to that certain stage where you're just like, I need this help. I can't do this anymore. And he's still obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the game, but he can be an even better quarterback in the game if you get him that help around him that he's going to need to take this thing to the next step.
You anti-Kyle Pitts?
I think so. I think
because somebody says you could find a Kyle Pitts in the draft or on another team that's not as expensive.
Yeah, I think I'm passing on him and looking for an option in the draft.
The one problem I will say is I don't want people to try to say who's going to be the next Travis Kelce. That's the thing that I don't want to see people try to put that sort of pressure on somebody that's new. That's going to come in and try to be like, well, this guy will be the next Travis Kelce. I don't want people to have that sort of, aspirations for somebody. Because I think that they did that with Tony Gonzalez. Like, who's going to be the next Tony G? Who's going to be the next Tony G? And then, voila, here comes Travis Kelce, who's miles ahead of what Tony G was in the NFL, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, and I just
especially
think
for the Chiefs because of what success came with Travis Kelce and not what came with Tony G. And then obviously the comments made when he went to Atlanta, I think that also hurt. But.
It did. No, it definitely hurt. And then he wants to be back in because they're winning and all this kind of stuff.
But why not
right
take an
now.
Atlanta tight end that they're not winning, go to a team that is winning, where we sent a Chiefs tight end to an Atlanta team that was winning?
Yeah, right. I
see what I'm doing here?
I do see that. I just have, like, Tony Gonzalez was always good, even when the Chiefs weren't. Kyle Pitts, man, I don't know. I just have a hard time with those contract year players.
All right, let's get to Danon Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan.
You hear him on game days in the booth.
Quickly, they get chunky and funky with stretching the fields vertically.
And Thursday nights at 6 during Players Only.
Spitfire, hot fire take.
Here's Chiefs Radio Network color analyst Danon Hughes on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
That's right, Danon Hughes, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and also brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, which I assume Danon Hughes had quite a few of those on Sunday evening. Danon, we do a segment coming up next after you called One Word. One word on how you felt Sunday at 3:30.
Oh, man. Shocked, I guess, would be the one word that comes to mind. But before I get deep into this, I think there's a full conspiracy going on here. You guys were trying to call me for my segment. It didn't go through. The referees don't call pass interference. What else? Oh, Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. There's a lot of things, a lot of dominoes falling right now that I think there's a conspiracy specifically against me going to Northern California for another Super Bowl. So, I know we have to make it about the Chiefs, but I also think it's about me too.
You think we have a vendetta against you?
Yeah, I think I'm starting to think so, man. I just turned 55, got this new little pain in my side that just showed up. Not going to be part of the playoffs. You guys can't get a hold of me. Like, there's a lot going on.
Well,
man. I may need some help.
I was hoping we couldn't get a hold of you because they're going to get rid of Connor Embry and let you be the wide receivers coach next year.
I don't think that would be on the table. And
would you consider it?
Yeah. Huh?
Would you consider it?
Doubt it. No, I don't.
You
think
couldn't leave
coaching
Mitch,
is
could
in
you?
my. I don't. I've stayed away from coaching for all of these years for a reason. So, but I do think that there definitely needs to be some tightening of the screws with the wide receiver crew. Maybe some discipline in regards to route running and extras and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's going to be a whole off season for us to be able to dial into that because we have the talent there. We just need maybe a couple more bigger pieces at the wide receiver position, taller guys, bigger guys that can exploit one-on-one coverage, and then also, guys catching the ball in traffic, so on and so forth. So as a former wide receiver, I see the the kinks in the armor. I see those little things and nuances. I bug Josh Klingler during our pregame show every week. I seem to point out things. We're looking through our binoculars at the receivers running routes and warming up, and I'm tapping him on his shoulder, watch this, why are they doing this, why are they doing that? So he gets a healthy dose of it too.
How long has that position been a disaster and Patrick Mahomes just made it look good?
I wouldn't say it's a disaster. I just, it's kind of one of those things where, and I'm sure, Bob, you've been on the air for a long time, there's probably things where as soon as we hang up, in your mind, you're like, man, Danon said it like this. I probably wouldn't have said it like that. Or he's got all the uhs and ahs and stuttering. Or you listen to other radio shows and you hear things that don't really make sense. It's not that you're trying to be elite or an elitist. It's not that you're trying to, downgrade those people and their circumstances. It's just that you see things or you hear things. And that's kind of how I am being around the game. I've been here in Kansas City for 32, almost 33 years now, playing here for the same organization, seeing greatness, not just on display when I played with guys around me, But ever since then, and playing with the Tony Gonzaleses and playing against Hall of Famers and playing with Joe Montana and Marcus Allen and DT and guys that are wearing gold jackets, drafted with Will Shields, I've seen greatness before. And then being a student of the game, because I wasn't the elite wide receiver, I had to be smart. I had to be crafty. I had to be a little edgy just to be able to survive in the game. So when I bring all of that to the broadcast booth, like there's some scrutiny that comes with that. And it's not directed like I dislike these guys, but there's some things that you look at and you like kind of shake your head like, why are we doing this way? Why are they doing it this way? How come he didn't go up for this ball? How come he didn't separate a certain way? Because I had to survive that way. So it's not a critique, I guess, or a massive critique, but, you know, I always learn, you know, you were great friends with Al Saunders.
Yep.
And he was my receiver coach. And he used to say, you're either getting better or you're getting worse every single day. You're never staying the same. So then I bring that into the booth with me. I'm like, okay, do I see better? Do I see worse? Because I'm not supposed to be able to see the same. So where are we at? And then my eyes go to the wide receivers, and I do that for every position, but the wide receivers is the one that's near and dear to me.
Mm-hmm. You saw a couple weeks ago through your binoculars and your eyeballs the facial expressions in the moment that Travis Kelce took in. You talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Can his last pass of his career come from Gardner Minshew?
It looks like it's going to be that way. I mean, I can't imagine him, you know, being put on the shelf for the rest of the season. There's really no reason to do that. But where it stands right now, you know, with all of the greatness that we've seen on display and the productivity and the Pro Bowls and all pros and everything else, record-breaking scenarios that we've seen with Patrick Mahomes, it looks like, at least unless he decides to come back for another year, and that has to be worked out from a contractual standpoint, it may be from Gardner Minshew. And you know what? I think, to me, there's some finality in that. Like, I don't think that riding off into the sunset, catching a last-second touchdown from Patrick Mahomes in next year's Super Bowl is necessarily going to be in the cards. I think that's like to bank an entire offseason and preparation and dealing with your wedding plans and all the stuff off the field and coming back and playing high-quality football. He's having a better year than he did last year, but then to assume that next year you would finish it in better fashion and going through all that work just because you want to ride off into the sunset on a high, I don't know if that is something that you should legitimately be thinking about. I watched Jason Kelce talk about this on SportsCenter, and I agree with him. You get away from the game, and it doesn't take long, or I should say it shouldn't take long, but you get away from the game, and you start to reflect, and you decide, do I want to do this anymore? Do I want to pour in what I did over these past 13 years? Do I want to do that anymore? And then you come up with an answer.
Yeah, and it's not an easy answer, but it's also a final answer. So you have to make sure, you know, everybody's going to want the answers today. We do in everything in life, Dane, and whether it's stadium news, Mahomes' injury, Travis Kelce's retirement, we want that information right away. And a lot of times it's better to let all these things just kind of take their time and percolate so you make the right decisions. What would you tell Travis Kelce?
I would say peace of mind has to be at the forefront of your existence. It has to be about, I know what it takes to be an elite NFL player. I know what it takes to be a leader on this team. I don't have the ability, nor do I have the want-to go away, buy a house in Florida, Arizona, or California, work out on my own, and then just come back when training camp is here. I don't have that luxury. I'm not Aaron Rodgers that's going to go away and just show up when it's necessary. I got to be poured in 100%, especially coming off a disappointing season where we didn't make the playoffs. And what would I have to do as that veteran presence in the locker room, on the field, etc., and am I willing to do that? And then you got to sit and, like, I remember when I decided to retire, I called my agent, and I'm not trying to compare myself and my accolades to Travis Kelce, but the mindset is the same. 6 years, 7 years after I was in the league, I called my agent and said, hey, don't call me again. I don't even want to be tempted. And I sat and prayed with my wife and decided that it was time for me to move on. Everybody has their own type of process, whether it's based on injury or just mindset or age. But taking that time has to be at the forefront of your mind. And then the decision has to be, I exhale and I am totally at peace with this decision. Now, unless you're, Phillip Rivers, which, but that's an anomaly. But I would say for Travis, I think that has to be the mindset that, I'm not looking at what else I can do per se. All that stuff is waiting around the corner for you. It's about the peace of mind that am I going to be totally okay mentally, emotionally with walking away from this game right now and moving on and not looking back.
Dana, what would you say is the approach moving forward with this team? Obviously 3 games left, one against Denver on Christmas Day at home, and then the Titans this week. What's the approach that you see this team doing forward?
It's evaluation time. Like I am of the school of thought, yes, you go out because there's a scoreboard, because there's a clock, yes, you're supposed to be focused on winning the games. Herm Edwards said it. I believe it. The scoreboard matters, especially in the NFL. At the same time, multiple things can be true. At the same time, it's about evaluation. And I think if you told me, or if I told you before this season that this would be a disappointing season to the extent that we would not make the playoffs, not a disappointing season that we would have lost in the playoffs, but to not making the playoffs, I think this is a perfect scenario in that. If we, knowing it as early as possible so that we can evaluate what we need in regards to supporting cast members. We already know what the stars, based on the money, et cetera, you're going to try to navigate around if you're Brett Veach and Andy Reid and Clark Hunt. But the supporting cast members, okay, now what are you going to do with 3 games left that's going to prove that you can still be a piece of the puzzle for us in the rebound effect of 2026? And guys have to take that personally. And I think we haven't necessarily, because of the successes of this team, you never really got the feeling of guys fighting for their careers, fighting for their NFL lives. And now you do. Like when you are 2-14 and 4-12 with Romeo Crennel and Todd Haley, I think the mindset of those guys was, you know what? I better hurry up and turn up the volume because this could be my last opportunity in the NFL, because what I'm putting on film is not necessarily going to draw other teams to me. And because we're losing here, it may not secure my job here in town. So that's got to be the mindset. And that's really going to be a new concept for a lot of these players that have grown up during this stretch of AFC championship games and Super Bowl appearances. And that's the nuance. So I feel like if I'm a player in that locker room, or if I'm a coach coaching up these guys, it's not just about the X's and O's and the game plan. It's about, let's turn this film off and let's talk about what you guys, what's really on deck for you guys these last 3 games. And just understand from a man-to-man standpoint. And I feel like there's coaches on this staff that will do a great job of communicating that.
All right, before we let you go out in 30 seconds or so, what are you expecting from Patrick Mahomes' rehab, and what is your expectation for next year with Patrick?
I expect Patrick to attack that like a rabid dog, and I look forward to seeing what the rebounded effect of that from Patrick is, because I think that's a component that can galvanize this organization, rejuvenate this organization in the right direction to get back to a championship culture. And that might be eliminating some other pieces, but I think based on what we know about 65 TPT, what we know about Patrick, you're going to see social media posts, you're going to see a lot of different things about his journey back, and that could be the catalyst to something really special for this organization and Chiefs Kingdom.
Sounds like Players Only could be really special, educational, and emotional on Thursday, Danny.
Yes, you hear the juices flowing right now.
Yeah, I know you're. I can hear the pen. I can hear the pen to paper getting ready to rip some takes on Thursday, buddy. Well, hey, take care, brother. We appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Danon.
That's Dane and Hughes there, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Nathan Will.I.Am takes over on One Word on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Trent McDuffie, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Dane and Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're going to love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dane and Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more. You are worth more, and your car is worth more at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us, and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
No gift? No problem. With Target's last-minute gifts, the holidays are a breeze. You can score on the hottest toys, beauty must-haves, chocolatey stocking stuffers, and much more. And if you need it now, no worries. Swing by any Target store today and snag all the stocking stuffers and gifts for the most magical season yet. Step into the holidays, check off everything on your list, and save big on your last-minute gifts. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could think you found your dream home online, but here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
This holiday season, give your family, clients, and coworkers the gift of Booth Creek Wagyu beef. Booth Creek Wagyu gift boxes provide the world's best steaks, burgers, hot dogs, jerky, sausages, and seasonings that are changing the way America eats beef. Choose from mouth-watering options like the classic sirloin box for less than $100. Or go big with the amazing Grill Masters Reserve box. Order yours today at boothcreekwagyu.com or visit one of their 2 convenient locations at 95th and Knoll or 135th Street in Metcalf.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
35 south of downtown with an accident right before the 20th Street exit. Right lane blocked. Delays all into and through downtown, affecting 670, affecting I-70 coming in from Prospect. It's also very heavy coming off 169 Highway southbound, which is stacked up to the airport exit. Lee's Summit, US 50 westbound solid from 291 north up past 3rd Street down to 1 lane with an accident. Alan Card, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
One word.
First name is Blake, and he goes on a cruise. He goes on a Caribbean cruise.
Katie Holmes.
No. Ah!
Are you listening?
What's your least favorite thing about working with yourself?
Body odor. You get one word.
On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
This is one word on Fescoe and Dusty.
1, 2, 3.
Oatmeal raisin. Do it to it, Laws. Or Nathan, shout out heavyweights.
That's right. No Mac today. I'm taking over on one word. We're going to start with the low-hanging fruit. Mahomes undergoes a successful surgery for his ACL and his LCL. One word on the surgery for Mahomes.
Good. I think that's what we expected, right? Expected is also another word we could use. If anybody thought Patrick Mahomes was going to wait around and not have this surgery as soon as he possibly could, you were wrong. And they did it as soon as they possibly could. That guy had surgery on Monday night, folks, right? Like everybody's getting ready to go to bed and call it a night. Patrick Mahomes is undergoing surgery. That's his dedication to himself. That's his dedication to the sport. That's his dedication to this franchise. He wants to start this rehab and get back as soon as possible. And I'm sure we'll see Patrick Mahomes doing rehab before the season's over here in the next 3 weeks.
Wrong or right that the guy that performed the surgery was the same one that performed Rashee Rice's surgery? Is that right?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know.
I thought I heard that. My one word is rehab, right? That's what's going to happen. That's what they said. As soon as it's done, I think that Mahomes, we've seen it. We know it, the tenaciousness that he has, the ferocious competitive, as one Eric Bieniemy once said, a competitive prick. You think that happens just on the field? No, man. He plays Uno, spoons, LCR, or LRC, whatever it is. Dude wants to win. What's his next opponent? A beaten up knee in rehab. So I assume he's going to take all of that and put it into rehab, and hopefully we see him, sooner than later.
Can you imagine what he's going to be going through to get his body and leg back now in shape to play in the NFL? Like, if it's not grueling enough to go through an NFL offseason of rehab and getting yourself ready when you're healthy, man, those rehabs from those ACLs look brutal. And there's going to be those dark days. And that's why, we talked to DJ on Mondays, and he said when he did his Achilles, he was so thankful that Mike Caliendo, not Mike Caliendo, but who am I thinking of?
Michelangelo?
Mike
Parsons?
DeVito injured it as well at the same time so they could work together because it's dark times, man. There's a lot of times you're on your own and you're doing it and you're like, is there ever going to be any light at the end of the tunnel? And so there's going to be some of those dark days for Patrick Mahomes. He's going to get through those. He's going to be good and he'll be back. So what are you laughing at?
The top text.
What does it say?
Who do you guys think misses more time, Joe Burrow or Mac Morey?
I'm going to go Mac Morey.
By the way, it is the same doctor. Cowboys specializes in LCLs. He also just did Travis Hunter's LCL as well, according to the text line. So.
Yeah, those guys do basically everybody. You got Dr. James Andrews for the Tommy John surgery. He did all those for years. Dr. Anderson did the feet and the ankles for years out in Charlotte. So you go to the best, when you're in the NFL because money doesn't matter. So you go to the guys who are the specialists and all that kind of stuff. So if this guy's doing it before, great. I'm sure Patrick was in great hands with that.
I think it wasn't Dr. Phil.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or that doctor for the Chargers. I'm
good if it was
one of those.
Patrick, you hurt your knee. How do you feel? Well, let me tell you about the book of the year here in Dr. Phil. Go ahead, Nathan.
Ryan Russillo of Barstool says it's might be unfair to compare Mahomes to Brady, which I agree with, but it's kind of not the norm, what we hear from them. So listen to his take, and then I want to hear one word on his take.
Tom Brady went 9 years without a Super Bowl win from ages 28 to 36. But the challenge for Mahomes is everything he's doing is being compared to one guy. And it's a bit like LeBron, where there's no LeBron accomplishment that anyone cares about doesn't mean that he's going to overtake Jordan. And like, no one's ever changed their mind on that. I don't think I've ever met one person that went like, you know what? I was always a Jordan guy, but after that 20 run, I changed my, after the scoring title thing, I've changed my mind. Like, no one's really changing their mind about this stuff.
We kind of said it yesterday a little bit. We've got to stop the comparisons between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. There may never be another Tom Brady, and that's okay. I mean, what he did and the stuff that he was able to accomplish is remarkable. So my one word is stop. Can we just now stop and just let Patrick Mahomes play out his career, and let's reevaluate it afterwards? Because we were all, and myself included, in a rush to give him the crown of the greatest of all time. Meanwhile, we had a guy that was pretty damn good for all of those years. And the Jordan-LeBron comparison is interesting because, he's right. I don't think many people sway to, from one side to the other when it comes to the Jordan-LeBron thing.
Yeah, I think the conversation is true. I've had these conversations before with friends of mine, just, spitballing around. I think it is the same because you can look at Tom Brady and look at Patrick Mahomes and say who's more athletic as a quarterback, who does more different things. You can look at who's a better winner, right? Like Brady's got the Super Bowl rings and all that on his resume. And it's the same thing with like LeBron and Jordan. Like LeBron's a freakish athlete. He's a better athlete than Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was a better winner.
Yeah.
And, the comparisons are always going to be there. That's just what we do in sports. That's just, it comes with the party. But again, it's a normal conversation to have the same sort of Jordan, LeBron, Mahomes, Brady until we're dead and gone and it's somebody else in Brady.
Yeah, it gets kind of lazy.
Yeah.
There was a football game last night. It was sloppy. It was cold. Mm-hmm. Two teams that are like technically in contention, but everyone knows aren't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. I want one word on it, but specifically the guys that scored touchdowns for the Steelers included Connor Hayward, MVS, Jonnu Smith. Their leading rusher was Kenneth Gainwell.
That's
and
right.
Roger said that these cast-offs having success is what makes that team so special. So one word on the game, but also just like the Steelers, who are 8-6.
Well, the one word on the Steelers being 8-6 is Tomlin. The one word on the game for me is it was a snooze fest, for lack of a better term. But, I mean, you've got to find ways to motivate any way that you can. And if you use being a cast-off from another team as a motivating factor to win a football game, by all means, go ahead and do it. But he's not wrong. It is a bunch of cast-offs, including him,
Yeah, last night my one word was obvious. Your boy won 170 last night betting a 4-leg parlay. Ty Warren, who was battling an illness, but Mike Tomlin on Monday night is just a different dog, dude. And
he won 23 straight at home on Monday night in Pittsburgh.
That was there for you. Tua Tagovailoa can't win a game under 40 degrees. Neither can the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
It was freezing. It was Monday night, and it was in Pittsburgh. The -3 was a walk in the park. So for those of you that trailed it, it was the proof was in the pudding, and the pudding last night was the Steel City of Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin. So props to them. They continue to do what they're doing, and Mike Tomlin keeps blowing kisses to the haters.
He does. Yep, he does.
One more quick one here. The Jack Taylor, coach of the Bengals, came out and said they're not resting Joe Burrow. They have to win. And Dusty, your stance has been, well, the Chiefs are giving you the blueprint. Guys are going to get shut down now that they're out of this thing. One word on the Bengals continuing to play their maligned, I don't know,
foolish.
Quarterback?
It's foolish, and the Chiefs have given you the blueprint. You've got to follow it. They showed you what happens, right? Not that the Chiefs did anything wrong by playing Patrick Mahomes, because they didn't. But after you saw that Patrick Mahomes went down, and you've got an injury-prone quarterback in Joe Burrow, or a lottery ticket, if you will, in Joe Burrow, right? You could either trade him this offseason and cash in big, or you're going to have him back next year. Either way, what's the point in having him play these final 3 games of the season? Because if he gets injured, your trade bait is done, and also your guy for next year is done. So I think the Cincinnati Bengals had it gifted to them by what happened with Patrick Mahomes, and so have these other teams. Man, if you're out of it, get your quarterback out of there. There's no reason to play him anymore.
Yeah, it's useless. I mean, I think what they need to do is just go have him talk to a counselor, go have him talk to somebody. He doesn't need to rest for injury. He needs to rest for mental, clearly, because, you don't want to see somebody that might be able to be a generational talent, have some sort of issue that he can't be, talked to about. And I think that's the thing. And I don't think right now football is the most important thing for Joe Burrow to do in life.
No, and I also think, too, with a guy like Joe Burrow and getting him somebody to talk to, that's 100% what he needs to do, because you got to find out where his mindset is. And I hate to be flippant when it comes to the mental health side of things, but the franchise also needs to know how they need to prepare going forward, right? Are you in or are you out? It's not like you're an offensive lineman or a defensive back or a skill position. You're the leader of this franchise. We need to know whether you're in or out.
I guess even if we don't know if you're in or out, like, is this a phase is not the right word. Is this a moment in time where you're frustrated with these injuries piling up, or are you really reconsidering this thing? Honestly, where are you at?
Go listen to Marshawn Lynch. Get your mental right, then get your chickens, right? Like, get your mind right, then worry about your money.
Then worry about everything else.
If your money's right and your mind's right, then everything else will work according to plan. Marshawn Lynch, a blessing in disguise. Coming up on the other side, Bob's Boneheads here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Nick Bolton, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, we're getting closer and closer to the big day, right? 9 days away from Christmas right now, and you're thinking, boy, if I don't get something now, it's never going to get here in time. Well, you don't have to worry about shipping when you go shop at Newton James at 80th and Metcalf in downtown Overland Park. And guys, it is a store built for us. It is the perfect men's clothing store in Kansas City. It literally has everything that you could possibly want, from looking good at work to looking good on the golf course to everything in between. And Newton James has so many great styles. I've got some great shoes at Newton James. I got some jeans that I'm wearing today at Newton James, a great hoodie sweatshirt from Newton James, some khakis as well. This store has everything, guys. And ladies, if you're looking for that perfect gift for the guy in your life, go to Newton James at 80th and Metcalf in downtown Overland Park, because they redefine what menswear should be with the best designers from the U.S., the U.K., and Japan. I'll tell you how good the clothes are at Newton James. My wife finally tells me how awesome I look in jeans for the first time ever. And these are jeans that I'm wearing from my friends over at Newton James. And at Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. So check them out on Instagram or at newtonjames.com, or visit them at 80th and Metcalf in downtown Overland Park. It's Newton James.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door if it isn't ready. Let Overhead Door Company of Kansas City come out and perform their 14-point tune-up on the garage door and 12-point tune-up on the opener. One price covers 3 garage doors and openers. The work is guaranteed. Overhead Door Company of Kansas City, trusted here since 1927. Call now to schedule your garage door tune-up, 816-221-0072, or schedule online at ohdkc.com. ohdkc.com.
Guys, have you started noticing your focus is off? Maybe you're not remembering family events, or you just don't feel the same. Synergen X and Low T Center have clinics all over town, so you can start receiving care. There's no reason to continue to delay this when you could start feeling like yourself again. They give you the power to choose to be treated in the clinic or at home, and a free TRT test is at the center with results in as little as 20 minutes. Look, you don't want to keep feeling bad all the time. You want really good testosterone treatment plans that are designed for you. Customized TRT plans at the best place in the city. That's Synergen X and Low T Center. So stop waiting and find out where those solutions could be with a free T test. The best is waiting for you the best is waiting for you. So get off the sideline and get that free T test now. Go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Hey, Missouri, if you haven't heard by now, good news. FanDuel Sportsbook is live in the Show Me State, and they're kicking things off with an offer that's tough to beat. Right now, new customers in Missouri can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So whether it's football, basketball, hockey, or more, you can bet it all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So download FanDuel today and head to FanDuel.com/Missouri and join the excitement. Remember, new Missouri customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. Because Missouri, it's time to play your game of FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Downtown, 35 southbound problem at 20th Street has cleared, but lingering delays stretch all the way up back up 169 Highway southbound to the airport exit. 70 westbound still heavy into downtown from 27th Street. Kansas side 435 eastbound heavy from K10 out past I-35 with an accident. Alan Card, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Nick Bolton. Tune in on game days to hear the play-by-play with Mitch, Danon, and Clean on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Bob's Boneheads. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about.
Sun's rising. Looks like a beautiful day. Son Andre rising. Here on a Tuesday. A lot of people celebrate. Nathan, you're married. You get to celebrate Tuesdays now. Bob, you get to celebrate Tuesdays. I'll still just be a loser.
You can go play golf today, though, and celebrate Tuesday. You made that face. Why are you making that face?
Not warm enough yet.
Not warm enough.
No, because it's only going to be like 4. Like, Spec has a rule where he won't play golf if it's under 60.
You lost me. It's Spec has a rule.
Whereas, like, I do have a similar rule, but I don't like to play golf if it's under 50.
Well, it's not supposed to be that way the next couple of days. It's supposed to be nice and sunny and whatnot, right?
It's going to be 50 at 2 p.m. and it's going to be 49 at 3 p.m.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And by the time 2 p.m. hits, I'm already going to be on the course at noon. So.
Right. What's it supposed to be at noon then?
45.
All right. Too cold for you?
It's not fun.
All right. It's not. I get you. Yeah, you don't want to be uncomfortable.
But if it's like 56, 57 at like 10 a.m., yeah, I'll go out there. I don't care if it's because I'll just put a beanie on and dress appropriately.
But at 10 a.m., that means by noon it's probably in the 60s if it's that warm at 10 a.m. So
yeah, because I played last Tuesday, it was like 54.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of a breeze. So it felt like it was like 51. But I had the beanie on and the long johns and the Under Armour, so we were good.
You were fine. Yeah, get out there and play. It's good for the soul to get out there. I'll tell you that right now. My bonehead of the week goes to a collective grouping of people, and it's anybody who wants Andy Reid fired. All of the people who have come to social media, or I'm sure our text line has had it yesterday, right, that you said that the people wanted Andy Reid fired and whatnot. I think those folks are the boneheads of the week raw, because think about what you're saying first and foremost about firing arguably the greatest coach in NFL history. And you may be down on this season. And honestly, I do believe that we can all be down on this season, but at the level of your anger has to be discussed as well, because if you're at rage levels because of the way this season ended, you haven't been doing what I've asked you to do for the last 10 years and enjoy that ride. Because if you enjoyed that ride, you're sad that this thing is over right now and they're not in the playoffs, but you're not raged, you're not mad, you're not angry, you're not feeling like you've been had and somebody screwed you and you need to exact revenge. You're not to those levels yet if you've been enjoying this ride the entire time. You can be sad, you can be, oh man, this sucks, it's over. But to have the rage to fire Andy Reid is one of the more ridiculous, if not the most ridiculous, Kansas City sports take that we've heard. And I've had enough ridiculous sports takes in my career to go to bat and say anybody who thinks firing Andy Reid is the right way to go is probably the most ridiculous sports take in the history of Kansas City sports, because Andy Reid is still the right guy. Does Andy Reid need some time to recharge? You bet. We all need some time to recharge. Do they need to make some changes on this team? You bet they do. Do I want to go into the season with anybody other than Andy Reid leading this organization? No, I don't, because if you look at the pool of coaches out there, it is not real deep. There's not many great ones out there, and we have a great one, and he's the difference maker as to why we've had these last 10 years be as spectacular as they were. And so, bonehead of the week, Dusty, goes to the people who want Andy Reid fired.
They're back.
Oh, they are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily to the degree that you're mentioning, but Andy Reid people don't want a repeat of what happened to Andy in Philadelphia.
Now, that's up to Clark to make sure that doesn't happen.
They go on to say he got stale, he got predictable, and he was out. His team sucked. Look at Bill Belichick from the 816. He was better than Andy, and he doesn't have it anymore. Andy sucks now. From the 913, Reid is stale and has been the same coach, all caps, for 20 years. Hasn't changed and won't change.
Been pretty damn good, though, for 20 years, right? If you tell me Andy Reid for 20 years is going to have the results that Andy Reid's had for 20 years versus somebody who changes all the time, that's a dumb text right there. He's done the same thing all the time. Yeah, he's also got 3 Super Bowl championships and been to 6.
Right. Okay, so he hasn't done the same thing for 20 years, and it's not the same as Philadelphia. They've won 3 Super Bowls here in Kansas City. That didn't happen in Philadelphia.
No.
So you could say Mahomes got him over the hump, and I know you could delete the texts that you got drafted out saying he didn't have Mahomes got him over there. I agree. Mahomes put him over the edge. What I know is that Reid and Mahomes, that combination works.
Yes.
It is on Clark Hunt to make sure Andy Reid adjusts and is flexible as the game progresses. I don't think he did a good job of that coming into this season. They were also coming off a three-peat. The plan had worked year after year after year. So now is the time to make those changes.
Right.
You have to trust that he's going to do that.
I think what we see here is one of those moves that we've seen many times in baseball where a team has been good and then they're not. And instead of firing the manager, the hitting coach, the pitching coach, the bench coach all get fired.
Right.
And it may not be because they were doing everything wrong, but it's more so like, we're not going to fire the head man, but we're going to let you know that things need to change below you and maybe new voices need to get in. And unfortunately, in the worst season that the Chiefs have had under Andy Reid before this, it was 9-7. And, this is one of those seasons where it wasn't great. And it's not like they're going to go in there and be like, yeah, you're out, dude. One faltered season and you're done. It's going to be one of those things where it's like, maybe the nepotism of what's in the coaching staff isn't going to be here anymore, and we're going to bring in new voices. I'm also going to give you a little bit more to spend and get more money in this team to make sure that it doesn't happen. And then if it does happen again the next year, then it's inevitable where it's like, all right, dude, like it is what it is.
It is what it is. You're absolutely right about that. But you also learn from mistakes. Just because something happened in Philadelphia doesn't mean it's going to happen again here in Kansas City. Or just because something didn't happen in Philadelphia doesn't mean it's not going to happen here in Kansas City. As an adult, and I think people start to realize this the older they get, I know I do, you start to really look back at your mistakes and learn more and more from your mistakes and what went wrong and not want to do that again to be in those situations. Like, and Andy, where he is right now, I'm sure he looks back at Philadelphia and goes, I don't want to be back in that situation where I went from a hero to a guy that they were running out of town. You don't want Andy Reid's tenure as the greatest head coach in Kansas City kind of end like it did for Hank Stram, where they ended up running him out of town, right? So this comes down to, the biggest player this offseason for me, I keep saying it over and over again, is going to be Clark Hunt. And it's not going to be Clark Hunt 100% just by opening the wallet there for Andy Reid to go out and get what he needs, but also checking Andy Reid as well and making sure that Andy Reid doesn't fall into those habits that they had in Philadelphia. And this organization doesn't just start going out there and signing randos and, taking flyers on guys that are too old or whatever the case may be, what they did in Philadelphia to try to make one last run at it. When you try to make one last run and you hit that panic button, you've screwed everybody in the organization. And so that's where Clark Hunt has to be on top of things and say, Andy, we're not going to do that kind of stuff that went on in Philadelphia. We're not going to make panic moves this offseason. We're going to continue to move along and make this team better and add some pieces in and, get you the running back and all that kind of stuff and maybe change out your wide receiver and running back coaches, and we can all move forward. Some coaches may leave for other jobs. Who knows, what the changeover is going to be. But the fact that people want Andy Reid fired, that is the worst sports take in Kansas City sports talk radio history. I wanted to trade Kelsey 10 years ago.
I think two things can be true. I think Andy Reid should not and will not be fired, and I think that he should reevaluate what he's doing on offense. I think there is two things that can be true. That I don't think he should lose his job, but I think that you could have the first time in his tenure here where it's like, hey man, like we need to fix some things, and that starts with you.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not really a good thing, but it's like, hey, like the legacy has to have some sort of weight. Where we were, where they've been, and what they've done cannot just be crumbled up and thrown away and just completely react that way. Because if not him, then who?
Right.
Right? Like, who's the guy you want to have come in if it's not Andy Reid?
Because there's nobody out there that can give you the level of success that Andy has had.
Like, I think we, as Chiefs fans, are like, oh, like I think we're short-sighted to that fact, because it's easy to say, well, yeah, look at what we were before Andy Reid's here, and they say, well, but we have Patrick Mahomes. We didn't have him then. Look around the league and look at the stability of the coaches who have their teams in this thing. Both Harbaugh brothers, they haven't won anything in recent years in the NFL as far as it goes. Tomlin hasn't won anything recently as far as the NFL goes. Guys like Kyle Shanahan, Dan Campbell, who have never won anything, but their teams are competitive every year. Like, he is clearly in that echelon, even if you don't think he's still the, by far and away, offensive mastermind he used to be. All I'm asking for is not, I'm not judging it based off if they win the Super Bowl next year or whatever. All I'm asking for is for a shot from, like you said, Bob Clark Hunt. You sit down with Andy Reid this offseason, and you can collaborate on these changes that need to be made.
Sure, and you
just
should.
show him you don't have 100% reign. This is a collaboration, and you need to maybe rethink some of these things. Because if it happens another year, or God forbid, 2 more years, then yeah, I'll be having this conversation.
Right, yeah.
One year of falling short of your goals doesn't get me there.
No, it doesn't get you there at all. And quite honestly, like, if we're sitting here next year having these same conversations, then maybe it is a bigger topic. You're right about that, Nathan. But I don't think at this point in time, the Fire Tony Dungy, I don't know why I said his name. The Fire
Dungy?
Yeah, I don't know why I said
fine
that.
If his
but
employer did.
But the Fire Andy Reid stuff, it really is at this point in time is the most ridiculous hot take in Kansas City sports talk radio history.
Hey, and sometimes when, drastic situations happen, drastic takes get presented. So I think we're all still kind of in panic mode from a city, from a fan base, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's actually not happening this year for the first time since 2014. So, but again, I think there is a lot that needs to be done. I think there is a lot of, conversations that need to be had, and we'll see what the owner and the GM do in this offseason. But coming up next, we'll get to Josh Briscoe at 8:25, plus somebody out of Las Vegas. Not like a fan or a person, but like maybe somebody that we all know here on 96.5 The Fan. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Tune in to hear former Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson every Monday at 7:20, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, as we celebrate the end of the year, the one thing that you want to make sure that you do is you celebrate the right way, and that's with no pain. But if you have knee pain or back pain or elbow pain or shoulder pain, then you need to go see my friends over at QC Kinetics, because right here in Kansas City, QC Kinetics believes that relief doesn't have to come from surgery or pain pills. They use your body's own natural healing abilities to repair and restore what's been lost, helping you move, live, and feel like yourself again. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place, with no surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. Just your body remembering how to feel alive again. And QC Kinetics delivers long-term relief to make that new year where the pain stops. So it's time to take that first step literally and call my friends over at QC Kinetics, because at QC Kinetics, healing is within reach. Schedule your free consultation today. And now's a great time to use HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. All 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here to tell you Rob Sight Ford is closing in on a record-setting year, and they're doing whatever it takes to get there.
That's right, Kevin. We're pulling out all the stops to finish the year strong. 0% for up to 66 months on most Ford models, including F-150s, Escapes, Explorers, Super Duties, and Transits. Top dollar trade-ins and pricing other dealers won't match.
If you've been waiting for the moment to buy, this is it. We've got the vehicles. We've got the deals. We just need one thing, you behind the wheel.
Impeccable rhyme, Kevin. But hey, this is simple, upfront, and easy, and it all ends January 5th.
Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and voted best car dealership in Kansas City by Kansas City Magazine. And now, we're going for the finish line. Rob Sight Ford. Buy right with Rob Sight.
135th and State Line, or ROBSIGHT.com. You want inventory, you want price, you want more for your trade, let's make it happen.
End the year in a Ford before this event drives off.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and check out all the exciting new ways you can make this football season unforgettable. Enjoy our all-new app design and same-game parlay builder, which will take your experience to a new level. Earn BetMGM rewards points from your bets. Take advantage of football promos found nowhere else, like a second chance offer on a first touchdown bet, and keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account throughout the season. Never settle for ordinary. Sign up today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements, promotions may vary by market. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Things heavy on the Kansas side of 435 eastbound, coming off of K10, slow from about Renner, and then 435 staying very heavy over towards Quivira with an earlier problem that looks to have cleared. Heading towards downtown, 35 northbound slowdowns around Southwest Trafficway, moves better up past Penway. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
We'll get to Josh Briscoe in just a little bit here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. Pete Carroll going to make it?
Doesn't look that way, Dusty. Does not look that way at all.
Because not throwing shade, you had high hopes for Pete
I did.
in Vegas this year.
I did. I thought it was a good hire. I thought it would bring back normalcy for a little bit, get an adult in the room.
Sure didn't look that way.
But you know what? Maybe it's not the coaches anymore out in Las Vegas. Like, how many coaches are they going to fire before we realize the organization is the issue, right? I mean, we've gone from coach to coach to coach to coach to coach, and it seems like every year they're firing a coach out there. At what point in time do you look at Lloyd Christmas and his bowl haircut and go, you're not doing it the right way out here as the owner? And so they're talking about Pete Carroll potentially retiring at the end of the season, getting a portion of what he's owed in his contract. Antonio Pierce is off the books now, so they're not paying him anymore. And so, I mean, to me, ultimately, that you've got to treat the symptom, they always like to say, and not, what becomes of that. The symptom here is that the Raiders are just an effed up franchise that doesn't have any direction whatsoever, with a bad owner who has a even worse haircut, with a model as his GM sitting alongside that's also on TV. Like, what's actually going on out there in Las Vegas? Because I am. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It seems like there are just a lot of people involved, a lot of people, including, I'm talking about Tom Brady and the owner, that probably don't have business doing what they're doing. Eventually, I just can't continue to look at the coaches and say, it's the coaches that are the problem when you're changing coaches every single year with that franchise.
And the text line says, why would we want them to change? We
don't.
That's
don't.
Not
no,
the narrative. But the narrative is they're going to, because outside of drafting and developing in Los Angeles and Denver, they have went out and gotten two coaches that have leadership qualities, that have a trajectory of success, that have a resume that checks out. Jim Harbaugh is working in Los Angeles.
Right.
Justin Herbert looks like a different quarterback the last 2 years.
Yep.
They drafted a wide receiver out of TCU, Quentin Johnson. And he looks over the last 2 years like they have figured it out,
Oh my
and
God,
the game
have
plan's
they?
working. They went and got Amari in Hampton. This Vidal kid that they just
Sassoon.
Yeah, he just worked out.
Yep.
Right, Gadsden, a rookie tight end that they figured out could work in their system.
6th round pick or whatever he was,
It's working in Los Angeles. You go to Denver, they got their Bo Nix guy. He put into the system with Sean Payton. It's working. It would make you think that the Raiders are going to say to themselves, well, if Denver did it and they were ass for 10 years and the Chargers did it, they just couldn't beat the Chiefs when it mattered. Well, maybe we need to do that. And that's where like the question comes in. Why would we want them to change? We don't want them to, because we would think that the way that they're going to adjust is take notes from these other teams, because the Chiefs did it, right?
Yeah.
They were down and out in 2012. What are we going to do? We're going to get the hottest coach commodity that's out there. We're not going to let him leave the airport when it comes to if he's going to Arizona or not. So they kept him here and they changed their franchise, and it's been successful at least since 2013.
Yeah.
You look at what the Raiders could and might possibly do, and that in fact could be they just go, instead of paying the next player a bunch of money, they're going to go find the first coach that they believe can be that guy, which I don't know who it is this year. But it would terrify me absolutely to hell if John Harbaugh gets fired and the Raiders say, you know what, John? Here's a blank check. You're not leaving Vegas.
That's exactly right. That is my biggest fear. I said, to you last night, I said, I like where we are with the Raiders right now. We don't want them to hire their Peyton or their Harbaugh, because if they do, I mean, this division right now is tough enough. We need the Raiders to stay where they are, and I think they will, because I don't believe in their ownership. I just believe, like, Pete Carroll's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's not working there. Antonio Pierce obviously was not a Super Bowl winning coach, but he didn't work there. Rich Bisaccia, the interim coach, didn't work there. Tom Cable didn't work. Rich Bisaccia took him to the playoffs. Yeah. He's the guy they should have stayed with. Ultimately, he was the guy that they should have stayed with. But his name is Rich Bisaccia, and it sounds like an item at Jasper's versus a guy who's coaching on the sideline.
Let's make a sandwich.
Yeah, I'll take the Rich Bisaccia tonight.
With some mozzarella.
Right. I mean, that's what it sounds like, right?
It doesn't milk, send it back.
I think the best thing for the Chiefs fans, AFC West fans, and the worst thing for Raiders fans is the existence of Jerry Jones. And I think if he wasn't the circus that he is in Dallas, the Davis family would get more run for the crazy stuff they've done in Vegas. But luckily, Jerry Jones' son is going to take over when he's no longer there, so it's always going to be this way. But I'm with you 100%, Bob. I think it's ownership there, and I don't think it's going to change.
And I know just from being around, sports for as long as I have, and you talk to coaches and whatnot, and they always go, you've got to go to a situation with good ownership. You have to find, good ownership. And if you don't have good ownership, you don't have a chance to be successful. And that's something that, obviously with the Royals, they didn't have good ownership for 20-some years with the Glass family. They were terrible when it came to the product on the field. They got a little bit lucky because Dayton did his job better than anybody else has had as a general manager in professional baseball, and they found a way to win where they should never have won in Major League Baseball. But it wasn't because of them. It was because of what Dayton and his team ultimately did. They overcame ownership. It doesn't happen a lot where you're able to overcome ownership. I know people joke about the Pittsburgh Steelers all the time, but they've been above 500 for the last 30 years, and the one consistent has been ownership in all of that. And if you don't have a good owner, you just are not giving yourself an opportunity for success. And so I keep thinking about Pete Carroll. I'm like, that guy didn't go from a Super Bowl coach to a nitwit. He went from the Seattle Seahawks to Lloyd Christmas running the franchise.
Somebody says, knowing the Raiders, they'll just hire Gronkowski next.
But I think, for Raider fans' sanity, the good news is they can't hire Josh McDaniels because they've already been down that road, right? They've already been down that road, and even though Tom,
if I'm
likes him,
I don't let him leave ever.
No, you don't let him go anywhere. You make him the assistant head coach, you pay him big bucks, and you keep him there. But I was just thinking of like the Tom Brady ties and how that's always gone over the years. And obviously Bill Belichick is not going to come back and go to Oakland, but it really doesn't matter who you put in charge. If your ownership is that bad, like companies, if companies don't fail because their employees aren't good, companies fail because of leadership.
No doubt. Yeah, it's interesting to see what they do. I'm interested to see what the Raiders will do moving forward. And somebody says you guys are literally scared of anything. John Harbaugh couldn't do anything on the Raiders. Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of people.
Why give him an opportunity?
Yeah, I think also like. It says, you guys are scared of everything. Raiders getting Harbaugh wouldn't do anything. Well, I think there's a lot of people out there that probably thought Sean Payton was not going to be able to do anything. And then he got his system in there. It took a year. He got Russell Wilson out, got Bo Nix in there. They were a playoff team last year, and they're potentially going to be the 1 seed this year. Jim Harbaugh, same situation. Just what he does. Now, he's got to win in the playoffs, and so does Sean Payton. But the Chiefs are in a down year, and they're ticking upwards, and the Chiefs tick downwards this year. So yeah, I don't know what it is.
I mean, I would not be a happy camper if John Harbaugh got fired in Baltimore and went to Las Vegas. I wouldn't be a happy camper either if Mike Tomlin ended up in Las Vegas. I love the fact that they're in this realm now where they just can't get things figured out, and every division needs a bottom feeder. You just hope it's not you. And so we've got the Raiders standing there right now that over the course of games in a season of 18 weeks, you need a break every once in a while and a 31-0 laugher and that kind of stuff. So I hope Pete Carroll stays forever, but that franchise, regardless of who they have as head coach, is never going to change till ownership changes.
Briscoe is going to join us now here on 96.5 The Fan.
He's the first voice you hear 3 hours before kickoff and the first voice you hear after the final whistle.
Future Hall of Fame receiver, future Hall of Fame quarterback, being able to figure it out for the last half of the season.
Here's the new Chiefs Radio Network pregame and postgame show host, Josh Briscoe.
All right, we did it earlier, Briscoe. We did one word on Danon Hughes, what this season was at 3:30 p.m. on Sunday. One word, Josh Briscoe, on where you were at 3:30 of this year on Sunday.
3:30 was sad. With about 2 minutes left in the game, I had reached a point of relative zen. But after Patrick Mahomes hobbles down the tunnel with all the banners next to him, sad is the only word that I have at this point.
What flavor of zen did you do? And you go upper lip or bottom lip?
I would have needed a face full, I think, to turn my mood around. But yeah, that really is where I was at. With about 2 minutes left in the game, the rest of the NFL slate had played out in the way that, hey, if you lose to the Chargers, you're mathematically eliminated. And I had reached an okay point. This team didn't have it this year. Everybody's close. The whole middle class of football is just a play or two away. And you know what? It's just, that's how this went. They need to retool and do some things this offseason, and then just, the one thing that couldn't happen happened, and it's hard to dig out from that one.
You mentioned where you were in your mental state. I feel like we're all kind of there at this point in time. Like, I didn't sense the rage and the anger except from, the folks in social media and the text line, which is not a good representation of real human beings and whatnot. Like, just being around town, people are just like, oh, well, it wasn't our year. We'll get back at it next year. And like people are kind of, like, okay, it's over. It's fine. But also kind of more positive, than I thought they would be. I think as a city as a whole, we're handling this fairly well.
Yeah, and I think there are two things that play into that. One is just how definitive it is. Like, it's not like the season's ending on that day in January or even in a close playoff loss. I mean, 6-7 going 6-8 and just seeing time and time again them be close but not quite close enough. I think that helps a little bit where you can just go, okay, no, this isn't an issue of like one player getting hurt and derailing what otherwise should have been a Super Bowl season. You can just kind of see it there. And the other thing is I think we have a high football IQ as a city, and I think it's sunk into people for the most part that it's really, really, really hard to outrun the way the NFL is structured. The NFL, and I think for the best for everybody, the NFL is structured in a way where dynasties aren't supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be able to outrun the entropy of your roster. You can draft great players and develop players, but it's a salary cap sport. You got free agency. The Chiefs get all the credit in the world for finding and developing Tershawn Wharton, and then he gets his payday from the Carolina Panthers. You win Super Bowls and you pick 32. It's harder to find the replacements in terms of your blue chip talent. So you just have to be perfect almost, or have a perfect quarterback to be able to outrun that. And the Chiefs weren't perfect this year. They've been really, really, really incredible over this dynastic era. They've maximized that in so many ways. And then this year, nobody was perfect. The roster construction, the coaching, the execution from the players. So I again, maybe in good company there, I have come to terms with what this season was, and frankly, I felt okay about it with 2 minutes left presumably, in the season against the Chargers, and now your entire offseason is different. The start of next season is in jeopardy, and you don't really know where to start with Patrick Mahomes. And that's the thing now that honestly makes a lot of the playoff problems feel kind of quaint by comparison.
When you look at this season moving forward, I thought it was hilarious, the Chiefs-Titans game. The Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 37.5.
Seems high.
Yeah. What do you want to see moving forward with this team that will be on the field in Sunday's games?
I want to see guys that have something to prove in whatever way you want to slice that. Like, I know Creed Humphrey talked after the game about, like, we're professionals. This is what we get paid to do. We want to go play for pride and all of that. And I respect that completely. Like, genuinely, if you are on the football field, you have to go 100%. You cannot go halfway. It's dangerous to you and everyone around you and all of that. But with all due respect, Creed Humphrey has nothing to prove to me. Hunter Norzad might be able to show you that he can be a legit backup interior lineman the rest of the way. Your tackles are already those guys. I don't need to see Trey Smith again. I don't need to see Xavier Worthy. He has stuff to prove, but not on this body. Like, he's ready for surgery, it seems. So I really am ready to see them start getting healthy for the guys who are even nagging injuries right now. Start your offseason and get an extra month for a team that's gone 2 months extra into playoff territory, playing, 20-some games in this run, in postseason games. You're not only getting a postseason off, take an extra few games, Chris Jones. You have put your body out there all season. You're an older defensive tackle. Start the process for next year. And then Brashard Smith, and maybe we get Jalen Royals, and defensively, give me Jeffrey Bassa and more Jaden Hicks. Like, start to really kind of set the stage so you know with some confidence what you have in those young guys, and so you know exactly how much work you have to do on the roster. I'm signing up for that. And again, like, look, if I was wearing a helmet, I would not say this. I would feel differently. But I do not necessarily need winning football the rest of the way. Go out there and show something. Let's see. I don't know, Jared Wiley getting more work again. Let's see if Jared Wiley can catch some passes from Gardner Minshew and show you what he can be. But right now, the draft pick positioning, I know it's no fun to be looking at the end of the year like this, but the draft pick positioning is more important than the wins at this point in my mind.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm never that guy to lose and all that kind of stuff and suck for luck. I think that sucks, but we know what our fate is. It's yes. Like we're not still playing for the postseason. We aren't. We're not playing for anything. It's officially elimination day. And so I am kind of with you. Having a top 10 pick in the middle of Patrick Mahomes' career is going to be potentially the pick that is equal or a little bit less than, obviously, than what Patrick Mahomes' pick ended up proving out. Like, you started your first dynasty by getting him, and maybe you start your second dynasty by getting somebody just as good that you can pair with Patrick Mahomes going forward for the next, 8 to 10 years or whatever it is.
And it seems like I'm not a draft expert through and through, and I have not fully put on my draft hat yet, but it seems like there's a pretty big difference between picking 10 and picking 15 or 16 this year. So, like, beating or losing to the Titans and Raiders could really determine, are you getting a good player or are you getting a real blue chip prospect at a premium position? So, yeah, I'm also never that guy. I understand that by the time Mahomes got hurt, that game felt almost meaningless. Patrick Mahomes is going to try to make a play with a breath of air in his lungs at any given point. Like, I'm not even mad in any particular direction. It's just, like you said, the fate is sealed. I do care about the AFC West. I care about the playoff berth. I care, obviously, about AFC championships and Super Bowls. But at this point, like, just keeping the winning record streak going really doesn't mean anything to me because, and frankly, I don't think it should mean anything to the Chiefs because their standard is so much higher than that. You're not the Saints right now trying to talk yourself into having a winning culture. That has been well established here. What the Chiefs need to do is figure out the ways to evaluate their roster the rest of the way and position themselves as well as possible to acquire more talent this offseason. And again, I know it's not going to be any fun, and I know I got to host the post-game show regardless. So if they lose to the Titans, you will not hear me glum on the post-game show because I do want to see that top 10 pick more than I want to see some regular season Gardner Minshew kind of meaningless wins.
Yeah, when you look at the offseason, there's been a name, and I know it's been out there, Eric Bieniemy. And we talked last week about how Todd Pinkston's your running backs coach. I'm not saying that Eric Bieniemy needs to be the offensive coordinator, but if you do draft a running back high in the first round, would you consider kicking the tires again on Eric Bieniemy, but as the running backs coach?
Yeah, I would be curious if that's a lateral move that he would make. I'm open to whatever. I do think there's a pretty clear argument for trying to figure out how to refresh the coaching staff in a way that obviously Andy Reid's always going to have his guys, and I understand why. Like, you've got these years of communication and kind of setting the standard for how you expect things to be done and all of that. But I do think that you need to see some sort of fresh face stepping in. I think Mike Kafka coming back potentially from the Giants at the end of this season also makes a lot of sense. But he and Bieniemy are both guys who were here already. So I would be perfectly happy to see Kafka or Bieniemy back in whatever circumstance they'd come back in. I would also be happy to see some other coach from the Ben Johnson school, some other McVay Shanahan disciple who might be able to come in and present something different from a running game perspective. Obviously, they need more talent in the running back room. I know that's been covered. I'm not sure that using that rare top 10 pick on even a potentially elite running back is my favorite idea. I don't know that Tyler Algier as a free agent is solving the problem, because I think that seems like there are deeper problems in the Chiefs running game than just who the back is. So I do think that having some sort of additional coaching evolution there would be a good thing. And look, this is always kind of a sensitive one, because it's really hard from the outside to say, like, here's what these positional coaches are all doing every week. I don't know. I'm not in the meetings.
Right.
But I do think that if Andy Reid and Brett Veach and Clark Hunt, whoever wants to be in on this conversation, if you ask yourself, which of these coaches have shown their value, like who has made their young players better, who has contributed to winning game plans, like who is improving the team with their presence, they should all stay. And if you can make that argument for any of those guys, then so be it. If you can't make that argument for a specific position coach, or this could go to players as well, if you're not a part of the solution here, if you're not improving this football team, you ought to look at what your options are.
You know, also, too, you talked about Mike Kafka coming back, and he mentioned Bieniemy coming back. And, you know what, I'm just not into putting this band back together. Like, what does Kafka offer that you don't normally have here? If Andy really wants to change his coaching staff up, then he needs to go get different voices who were able to kind of, I don't want to say be on the same level as Andy, but challenge Andy at times. You know, have somebody different in there. Have a different voice. Don't just continue to surround yourself with the same old, same old. That's when it starts to get stale.
And I mean, it's gotten stale. I don't have a pushback for you there.
I like your idea, though, of going outside the organization and going to a Ben Johnson tree or a Sean McVay tree. Something different, because the same old is expired here in Kansas City.
And I would love, if I had my, like, fantasy draft pick here, Mike McDaniel coming in and just taking total ownership of the running game and kind of building that back up in a way that gels with everything else Reid and Mahomes want to do, that would, for me, I think, be my number one, that might be my number one priority for the offseason. But again, you're going to bring in a guy like that and put him in what role? If Mike McDaniel comes in and he's the offensive coordinator from a different offensive school of thought in Andy Reid's offense, maybe that works, but I'm not holding my breath for it, because I do think the Kafka reunion for a guy who did go out and did learn some other things and spent time with Daboll and got another view of the NFL and trying to figure out how to use different running quarterbacks at different times, how to make chicken salad out of the talent that you have at times there in New York. Like, I think that's probably, for me, I think that's probably my favorite option that feels realistic at this point. But if there is a completely outside voice and Andy's willing and able to give a little more of that control or of the creative influence there, I'm totally open for that. And I think Reid would be on some level, because he's willing to take ideas from anywhere. We know this goes back to like the first moments of football's existence. He's got black and white tapes to figure out how to run some trickery out of that. I would love to see more of that creativity and some fresh ideas come back. However it evolves, I think a familiar face is probably more likely than a brand new one, but I'm open to options here for sure.
Briscoe, we love what you do. We'll continue to have you on the show because the season moves on, and so do we. So we'll talk to you again next Tuesday, brother.
I am my own backup, so I might do the Minshew mustache, and I'll be here next week.
Nice. Bring the jorts, baby.
I've got some.
Bring a van and drive it across I-10 and just stop at random truck stops and sleep for a month.
I may or may not have done that a time or two, but that's neither here nor
there. You go. Josh Briscoe, everybody, the Chiefs pre- and post-game radio host there for. We'll talk to him again next Tuesday. Coming up next, we'll get into some more on what drafting position could be and what would you pick here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens, and that cool weather's moving in, that hot weather's moving out, but keep it hot in the bedroom. And if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction, just remember that ED is nothing more than a medical condition. Studies show that around 50% of men over the age of 50 have some form of the condition, and young men can be affected by ED as well. But what you may not know is that ED stems from a variety of causes, and these often call for differing treatment strategies. And that's what Heartland Men's Health does. Heartland Men's Health treatments work when the pills or the herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. So, if ED has been affecting your intimacy, schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider and a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you are like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Kansas; Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit; and in North Kansas City. So call my friends at Heartland Men's Health today at 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Newton James is Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. They redefine what menswear should be with the best designers from the US, the UK, and Japan. Their new seasonal collection just dropped, but the most popular colors and modern cuts always go first. So check them out today. Whether it's a suit for a holiday party, a winter wedding, or a sharp everyday fit, get the best look while your size is still in stock. At Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or newtonjames.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch. So you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part? You can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and check out all the exciting new ways you can make this football season unforgettable. Enjoy our all-new app design and same-game parlay builder, which will take your experience to a new level. Earn BetMGM rewards points from your bets. Take advantage of football promos found nowhere else, like a second chance offer on a first touchdown bet, and keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account throughout the season. Never settle for ordinary. Sign up today. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements, promotions may vary by market. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
FanDuel is the #1 sportsbook for same-game parlays from points, rebounds, three-pointers, assists, and so much more. FanDuel is the best place to combine your favorite picks into a same-game parlay or track every stat line live, all in an easy-to-use one-stop shop app. And right now is the perfect time to join because new customers get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So bet on the players that you love the way that you want. Head over to FanDuel and use my promo code FanDuel.com/KFNZ to sign up today. FanDuel is the best place to combine your favorite picks into a same-game parlay or track every stat line live, all in an easy-to-use one-stop shop app. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
This season, enjoy stress-free comfort with easy booking and trusted service from Anthony. Save up to $4,500 on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. Schedule today at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by the technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony, plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric. Missouri side, Grand Valley into Blue Springs 70. Westbound very heavy with an accident before Adams Dairy Parkway. Right lane blocked, just crawling along in through there. It doesn't take much in that construction zone. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
All right, moving along, 8 o'clock hour. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll get into Start Bench Cut, brought to you by Jay's Southland Tow.
SBC, baby.
That's right. SBC Stinky. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's
I really
fine.
apologize to everybody for doing that.
That's all right. Somebody said earlier on the text line when they were watching the Chiefs game on Sunday, they kept going, BBL Stinky.
A lot of people
Stinky.
do.
And then he was like, my wife kept asking, where's that from? And his daughter goes, Cardi B. They talked about it on the show he listens to.
Yeah.
Bang.
I love it. I love it. Hey, let me ask you guys a question.
No.
All right. But let's pretend I'm Brett Veach for the day, right? And I come to both of you guys and I say, all right, I'm not asking you who's available. I'm not asking you anything. I'm just strictly going off position. And we have the 11th pick. What position should we be targeting at 11? Again, take out the minutia of who's available and all this. I just want to talk position grouping right now. I feel like we all may have different answers or we all may have the same answer. So if you're Brett Veach and you're having that conversation and I'm Brett Veach and I say, Nathan, what do you think position-wise? Dusty, what do you think position-wise that we need to target and is the most important position of need going into this? Not free agency, going into this draft.
He said your name first.
At 11, I think I'm at wide receiver right now.
Okay, Dusty?
Is there a Janikowski in the draft? No, let's see. What?
It's just funny. I don't know. Can I
Position
laugh?
of need, right?
Yeah. Well, kicker probably is. I mean,
so, in all seriousness, I think if Jeremiah Love is there, you take him.
okay.
Because
So running
think,
back?
Because I think he is the one elite running back that is the outlier, right? Like you look at Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Those guys, they're great at what they do. That's why they got drafted that high. I get it. The narrative of running backs in the draft is you can find one late in the third, you can find one in the seventh. They've done it before. Well, they've done that before because they haven't been serious about the running back position. And I get it, Rashard Smith could be good, but he was a 7th-round pick because he was a 7th-round pick. Kareem Hunt, he's a 7th-round pick or a 3rd-round pick out of Toledo. Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th-round pick out of Rutgers. Maybe, just maybe, with your quarterback who's having ACL and LCL surgery last night, could use a dynamic running back. And if Jeremiah Love is there at 11, then it works because Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a 1st-round pick that Patrick Mahomes wanted, and they took him. And I'm sorry, but we all watched that LSU team. That was a tree we were all picking the fruit from. And it just so happens that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the one guy that didn't hit, and we were the one team that took him. And we weren't going to get Jamar Chase, and we weren't going to get Justin Jefferson, and we weren't going to
still won a couple of Super Bowls, even taking Clyde
Patrick
Edwards-Helaire,
Queen was
you
on
know?
that team, and he's still doing his thing at a high level. So I think that if you look out of desperation and need, and Jeremiah Love is there at the dynamic running back that he is, and I know that all of you will say, no, you never take a running back that high. Well, you've never had Patrick Mahomes coming off reconstructive knee surgery.
It's interesting when you said desperation, and I hope that's not the thought process, because when you do go into desperation mode, you make really bad decisions. I don't hate running back. I don't hate where you went, and I'm glad you guys went that way, because I went a completely different direction. I went Rush edge.
That's
rush.
what everybody in the text line, it's unanimous.
And the reason I'm going rush edge or edge rush, I don't know why I keep saying rush edge, is because
he's projected in the third round. If you listen to character concerns, he's got a really good family, comes from a track star.
Yeah, rush edge. Yeah, he's really good. I just can't. It's so good.
I also don't know what our edges do, but it's not a lot
his
of
mom
rushing.
was a volleyball player. She had an electric spike, so you could see him getting up and knocking the ball down. Rush edge had a Clemson bob. Yeah.
Where can I find that information?
I don't know. But tomorrow you can find that information on character concerns. They get the guy from Ohio State, Tate, going number 1 overall. Edge rusher out of Mizzou in the second round and running back in the third.
So I would go edge rusher just because you've got your guy on offense that you've built around. You need that guy now on defense, and to have that solid edge rusher for the 8 to 10 years, as we like to say in Pollyanna world, is you like to get that guy. But you're going to have to replace Chris Jones. You're going to probably trade Trent McDuffie. You're going to make some decisions on the offensive side of the football that you need to, or the defensive side of the football that you're going to need to address with young guys. And so I'd love to get that cornerstone edge rusher in here that I know we've got our stud on defense and we've got our stud on offense. Let's go.
Until you said, regardless of who's available, I was considering edge rush too.
I'm glad you didn't, though, because it makes the conversation better. Let's just call it what it is. Right?
I've been like, hey, edge is problem 1 and problem 2 and problem 3 for this team. I've been beating that drum for a few years now. I don't plan on this team picking at this part of the draft again for the next half decade, hopefully full decade.
Right.
And I also believe this team, whether it's McDuffie, whether it's Rice, I think they'll have another pick in the first 2 rounds compared to what they have right now. They have 1 in each of those rounds. Now I imagine they're having, another one added because I don't think they're paying both of those guys, and I think it's time to move on from one of those guys if you're not paying them. Regardless of all the hypotheticals, I think one of them is getting moved this offseason.
Now, they wanted to pay both of them. Again, the best laid plan was they wanted to pay both. That's why they didn't make the moves at the deadline, because they knew that their draft picks would be valuable. They planned to sign these guys and whatnot, but things have changed since then.
Well, they have. So with that extra pick, I'm thinking, well, if they're not going to pay Rice, then you have a year or two to throw another dart at that wide receiver room. When are you going to be picking here again? If you're going to have a few extra picks on day 2, maybe you go all in on the line then. And then maybe in 5 years, you're looking back and you're saying, hey, we got Patrick Mahomes' blindside protector and his stud number 1 wide receiver like he's never had in back-to-back drafts.
So here's the interesting thing, that you kind of talk about in there is getting the guys that you need at that wide receiver position. Yes, that is a must. Getting an edge rusher, yes, that's a must. And it just goes to show you, this organization does have some holes in it. It wasn't as good coming into this season as we all expected at every position. And when you go to 3 straight Super Bowls, you look past the obvious because it's working. And then when it stops working, that's your opportunity to really dive deep in and peel the layers back and peel the onion back and make those moves that maybe you wanted to make a year ago. But hell, we're coming off 3 straight Super Bowls. We really can't do that,
Well, and they haven't really the wide receiver room was kind of by design after the Tyreek Hill trade. Now they have picked, a few guys higher in the draft, but it was like, hey, where he's going to do more with less. You still have Kelsey here. We're going to focus on the offensive line. Man, in the defensive line room, they have thrown the darts in the first round. They just haven't hit. Karlaftis is somewhat of a hit. I know he's gotten paid, but do we think he's a game changer on that side of the line? They threw a first-round pick at FAU. The free agent contracts, like Amenahu, haven't worked out.
God, I think they really wanted to trade that first-round pick in Kansas City. I really do think if that draft wasn't here, I really do. I'll take that to my grave. I think they wanted to trade that pick, but then it's 32. You're in Kansas City. It's your night. And I think that's ultimately what happened.
Would you rather go get a veteran edge rusher or a veteran tall receiver?
Veteran tall receiver.
Draft the
edge rusher. Yeah, yes. I'd like a young edge rusher.
I agree with that.
I would like an experienced guy if you could. And by experience, I don't mean 30. That same age as Pitts is. 25 in that range. A good tall wide receiver, maybe going on to his second contract. And
Juwan Jennings do anything for you from San Francisco?
He is a free agent.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
I feel like he's a possession guy. I'm not sure how tall he is.
Malcolm Kuntz out of the Vegas Raiders, free agent, 27.
That's a nice age.
They're going to probably keep Max Crosby there. I don't know if they can pay 2 defensive ends, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you on this. Yeah, I'd rather have the veteran receiver and the young, controllable edge rusher.
But again, things change. Everything is fluid, and so you used a term like best available or whatever when you were talking about the running backs and wide receivers, and that to me ultimately what it comes down to is you can't go in with a position when you have that top 10 pick or any pick. You never go into a draft saying we need a running back here, because then you set yourself up for failure. Because if you go in drafting, we've got to draft a running back, and you're ending up taking the fourth best running back instead of the best wide receiver on the board because you went in with that position, then you really screw yourself. So as I ask position, I don't want them to go in with a position, and they don't. This team has been very good. They've drafted players all the time at positions, and you're going, why are they drafting this guy at this position at this spot? That's why they're ending up doing that. So I think, though, with this top 10 pick, potentially having that top 10 pick, I would love it to be that bookend lineman defensive side of the football that you can build around for the next 10 years and have him and Mahomes just kind of run in concert together.
Coming up next, we'll get to start bench cut.
Oh, hang on real quick to interrupt you. I received a Patrick Mahomes update that people are going to want to hear just now.
96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Leo Chanel, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at QC Kinetics want you to feel better this holiday season. They want you to feel better for the rest of your life, and they want you to start 2026 with no pain. And you can do that with my friends over at QC Kinetics, because your body will remember how to heal. It just needs a little help finding the way back. QC Kinetics believes in relief doesn't have to come from surgery or pain pills. They use your body's own natural healing abilities to repair and restore what's been lost, helping you move, live, and feel like yourself again. It's your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. QC Kinetics will deliver long-term relief to make that new year awesome and pain-free. So schedule your free consultation today. Now's a great time to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. So call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone, it's QC Kinetics.
Guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start treatment, you'll wish you'd done it sooner. All the guys I know go to Synergen X and Low T Center for their TRT needs. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars. The test is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. So get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com.
Men, you need to look great for holiday events. Let Peter's Clothiers give you the perfect fit you're looking for. From sportswear to suits and sports coats and sizes to fit every man. PetersClothiers.com or stop in today at 124th and State Line.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. Your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook is live in Missouri. You can get in on all the action with fast withdrawals, a safe and secure app, and betting that's easy to use anywhere you go. And the best part, DraftKings keeps the excitement going with awesome promos and offers all season long. That's why it's America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't wait. New customers sign up today. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Let's go, Missouri. Get in the game.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done. With precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way. With a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound, heavy at the Shoto Traffic Way. Once you get down towards Antioch, things move better. 670 eastbound, heavy crossing 35, moves better once you get out past Broadway. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFMZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, Bob.
All right, you ready? I texted a well-placed source earlier today and asked, what's the expectation for when Patrick Mahomes is going to be ready, right? And so this well-placed NFL source responded back to me. First of all, said, good question. So I want to thank that person for saying that. Good question. Here is what they're feeling that the progress and the plan is going to be for Patrick Mahomes from a well-placed NFL source. They're looking at 9 months. If this happened to any other player, they would probably say the first 6 weeks of the season they would be on IR and then activated. However, it's Patrick Mahomes. We'd be shocked if he wasn't ready for week one. The prognosis is, and not the prognosis, but the thought is that the Chiefs are going to be the ones holding Patrick Mahomes back during his rehab. And I mean, that's kind of something that we all, just figured out. But I will say right now, after the surgery took place yesterday, the reports that I'm getting right now from well-placed league sources, they'd say first 6 weeks of the season would probably be on IR, but it's Patrick Mahomes, and they would be shocked if he is not ready for week one. Now, that's all great and all well, and I love that message that's being put out there in that situation, but I will also say that should not change from what you're going to do at the backup quarterback position. You have to, make sure that you are solid and ready to go at that backup quarterback position, because both can be true. You could be expecting Patrick Mahomes back for week one, like the folks in the NFL are expecting him to be back for week one, but there is a chance that he's not back and ready to go for week one. So you have to have your plan in place. And look, the Chiefs have done an unbelievable job with, Veach and Andy and all the guys over there of preparing and getting things taken care of and having that plan in place. I think they will. The good news is they do think he'll be ready to go for week one. Anybody else first 6 weeks of the season, probably on IR. All of that being said, you still need to have that backup plan. Both can be true, as we like to say,
So they said it'd be a shock if he wasn't ready, but the Chiefs want to take precaution and let him work it out and get ready?
No, not
That's
at
what
all.
I thought you were saying.
No,
they want him to play week one?
Yes.
And it said 9 months?
9 months is week one, basically,
So we're not counting the month of September as a full month?
No, they're expecting, if it happened to any other player, they'd say the first 6 weeks IR and then activated. However, knowing Mahomes the way that everybody does, they'll be shocked if he wasn't ready for week one.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess I was wrong. I don't know.
No, you're not, because if it was anybody else, they would have put him on IR for the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yes, but with Patrick Mahomes, can't you see a world in which at mini camps we get a video of him and he's
mini
like,
camp? I think we get it next week.
Oh no, but I mean like a video where he says I could play right now. In
yes,
like 4 months, right?
yes.
And then at training camp he shows up and they're like, yeah, it looks great. And you're like, what? This happened 7 months ago. Like, that's just kind of how Patrick Mahomes operates. Now, I don't want them to, if he's going to be 90% of himself in week one, I'd rather them, do the IR thing, make sure he's fully good to go. But yeah, knowing who he is and how he's bounced back from his injuries in the past, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's out there for week 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's just who he is. I mean, it's bizarre. Right? But again, anybody else, Dusty's right. First 5-6 weeks of the season, you're on IR. I mean, we'll get you back after the bye or something like that. But, I mean, this guy it's remarkable. And so you have to just trust. I mean, he's come back from everything, too. That's the other thing. It's like Patrick Mahomes has had this remarkable way, guys, of healing.
Yeah. All right. I thought he'd be out at least first 4 weeks of the season, but I guess it's freakish Mahomes.
Healing and playing through stuff, too, because for a second there when he was down and then he got up to walk off the field before they took him back into the locker room, I'm thinking, I thought he tore his ACL, but maybe it's just hyperextended. Like maybe his knee has another injury.
Right.
Like, because how many times have we seen him go down with a gruesome-looking injury where his leg bends a certain way or his ankle bends a certain way, then he's back in the game in the next quarter.
Right.
No doubt. All right, Nathan. Start bench cut down.
Here's Fescoe, Dusty, and Mac with this week's edition of Start, Bench, Cut.
Somebody says he is human. I just got 9 texts in a row. He is human. He's 30. He's missing 4 to 6 weeks. Let's be real. And come down from the clouds. I don't know. Like I said, if it was anybody else, 9 months or whatever, if it's not, it's Patrick Mahomes, maybe he just is different. Maybe he's built different.
I hope it doesn't come across like I'm in the clouds and saying I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, no, that's not being in the clouds. I'm reporting from a very in NFL source what they're saying. I'm giving you guys the information. You can spin it, take it however you want. But no, this is Patrick Mahomes we're talking about. Because I was with Dusty. I'm like, you got to have a backup. He's probably going to be out the first 5 weeks of the season.
Right.
But then you hear, this is Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs are probably going to have to hold Patrick back from doing all this rehab. He's going to attack rehab like he attacks everything. And so it's not heads in the clouds. It's looking at the evidence that we've seen when this gentleman gets injured, how he rehabs and gets back and ready to play.
Right.
And it's different than everybody else. And that's okay to have that sense of thought, you know?
I think I still stand pat, no pun intended, on what I thought at the beginning. I think that when it comes down to it, I think the first 4 weeks, you don't win or lose your season in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Right.
You can lose it if you throw him out there too early and he re-aggravates that.
I
get
it.
The other thing, too, is like it's Patrick Mahomes. I get it. Like, and this is tough. I get it that he's what we've said before, he's a competitive prick. But sometimes you have to, be like, hey, dude, I understand you want to go out there. Remember that video when they had him on the sideline and Andy's like, go get it checked out.
Yeah.
And he's like, go get it checked out. Then we'll figure things out. I get it. You want to be there. You're the guy. But damn it, Patrick. Don't try to ruin your career any further than trying to expedite yes, you are a freakish athlete, but don't damage something in a freakish moment.
Just one more thing. You brought this up earlier is the Chiefs are going to get a third-place schedule, and I think they have to be going to the league like, hey, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, another Christmas game, international
all of that
games.
needs to be off.
Hey, how about we get our third-place schedule, which we'll get the NFC South as our one-off NFC team. How about we get the Falcons and the Bengals in week 2 and 3, and then a bye in week 5? How about you help us out? We've helped you out. So I think there's going to be, maybe not a need to rush him back either once we see that schedule.
Not a need to rush him back. Start, bench, cut. We talked about it a little bit. We didn't know how far we get into it, but start, bench, cut, positions of need: edge rusher, tall receiver, running back.
I'm going to start edge rusher. I'll bench tall receiver, and then I'll cut running back.
Based on where this team is right now, I'm going to start edge rusher, bench running back, and cut the receiver.
Okay, that's good.
We go to best team in your mind to win it all. Start, bench, cut: Rams, Bills, Broncos.
I'm going to go in that order. I think that is the right order for me. I'll start the Rams, I'll bench the Bills, and I'll cut the Denver Broncos. Yeah.
I'm going to go in the same order as well, but I wish I could just take the Rams against the field. I think they're clearly the best team in the league, and they still are losing to teams like Carolina, but I think they're clearly the best team in the NFL.
No concern with the Devontae Adams injury. Big red zone target this year for Matt Stafford.
That's fair.
And now you can just bracket Puka Nakua. Good luck with that. Wow, he's kind of an ass.
I just think
Puka is?
Yeah,
really?
He's kind of an arrogant ass.
The game stuff, the celebration stuff.
He's just kind of had his live camera on the locker room talking smack to fans. I thought you were this quiet assassin. I think he's kind of a Richard.
Oh, okay.
Going to events, be like, Ravens suck. It's like, what?
My biggest thing
in the NFC.
I know. My biggest thing is and it's an
that
AFC
sucks.
thing.
I'm not gonna lie. Hearing that sucks.
I know. I'm kind of shocked by that too. It's kind of an AFC thing, the no Lamar, no Burrow, no Mahomes part of this.
Yeah.
McVay Stafford is just by far and away like eons of distance between the second place other quarterback coach combo.
No doubt. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Teams in the on-deck circle that could do it, start bench cut with hope that they could. Patriots, Seahawks, Niners.
I'm going to go Niners. I'm really in on Kyle Shanahan now. Like him a lot. I'll go with the Hawks. I'll bench them, and I'll cut the Patriots because I don't want another AFC team, stealing our thunder. So bye-bye.
I'm going to start the Patriots. I think all they have to do is get past the Bills. I don't know if that'll be in the divisional or the conference championship. If they do that, I think they're in the Super Bowl. I'm going to bench the 49ers, and I don't trust Sam Darnold, so I'm going to cut the Seahawks.
Okay. Most you want to see out of a guy for the Chiefs the rest of the year? Rashard Smith, Gelati, or Rashee Rice without Patrick Mahomes?
I really want to see a lot out of Rashard Smith, so I'm going to start him. I've been excited about him since the draft, and I haven't gotten my excitement fulfilled, I'll tell you that. Then I'll bench Gelati, and then I'll cut Rashee Rice. I kind of think we know what Rashee Rice is, and based on Gelati's performance the other day, I need more of that guy. Holy cow, was he good?
I want to go in the same order as you, Bob, but there's like a different vein of me that wants to go start Rashee Rice from like an effort perspective. Like, we've heard what Nate Taylor had to say. The team's out of it. You're going to have Gardner Minshew, a backup offensive line. Are you getting up for these games still? Or are you phoning it in? I kind of interested to see that, but I think overall, probably going to start Rashard Smith, bench Gelati, cut Rice.
Moving forward into the playoff picture, pressure-wise, start bench cut, Stafford, Josh Allen, Drake May.
Well, I'm starting Josh Allen. I don't think anybody in postseason sports in the last 25 years has had more pressure on him than Josh Allen does this year.
More than Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, because it's the NFL versus major, but that's a tough one, Dusty, and it's a really good thinking question. And it's the Yankees. It's that, but I'm leaning towards the NFL. I am, just because everybody's out of your way right now. Like, Judge still had to go through the Dodgers and stuff like that. Like, everybody's out of your way for Josh Allen right now. So I'm going to start Josh Allen. I will bench Matthew Stafford, and I don't think Drake May has any pressure. He's like Patrick Mahomes in that 2018 season.
Same order for me. I think Stafford does have a little bit of pressure in the sense of his legacy can really be elevated with another ring, but it's not like he must get it done.
Right.
Josh Allen, unfortunately, I mean, the things that hold quarterbacks back, like Phillip Rivers, from being in this conversation are Super Bowl rings. We do that with quarterbacks in the NFL more than any other sport. And like you said, Bob, the guys are out of his way. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. The ball can bounce all sorts of different ways. If he doesn't win it this year, you can't tell me he's a top 5, top 10 quarterback of all time. I mean, this is what, Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud, and Drake May on the way to the Super Bowl? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe Trevor
Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, my God, Dusty, you're right. Jeez.
Going fishing in the AL East is what the Lynx to the Royals have had this offseason. Keep, throwback, eat, or start bench cut. Jazz Chisholm, a name that has now linked to the Royals at second base. Jarren Duran or Cody Bellinger?
Cody Bellinger, I'm starting. Duran, I'm benching. And Jazz, I'm cutting. Can we get more into Jazz on the other side?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then Nathan?
Same order, but I think Duran might be a little more realistic. But if Bellinger's on the table, I'm starting him 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the last one here is the holiday is coming up. We'll be off all next week for the Christmas holiday. What's a better vibe, start bench cut? Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Christmas evening?
I love Christmas Eve like I love Thanksgiving. Yeah, Christmas Eve's the best. It's always been, we've always had family parties, and then we have our kiter friend party that we go to every year that I love, and every year Christmas comes around, and it just reminds me of being a kid again at their house, so I love Christmas Eve. I'm going to bench Christmas evening this year because we'll all be at Arrowhead, and then I'll cut Christmas Day.
Yeah, I'm starting Christmas Eve too. It's always been the best day of the year. It's when the family does our stuff. Christmas morning, I think I'll bench that one. I think whether you're coming downstairs and opening presents as a kid or whether you're on the way to a function, I think there's anticipation in Christmas morning. But Christmas evening doesn't do anything for me. I'm usually just watching a movie and taking a nap.
Yeah, you're done getting ready. Like, a lot of people have to work on the 26th, It's like getting ready for work, yeah.
Coming up, we'll get into some Royals conversation on the other side of 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
This is Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sports fans in Missouri can sign up for BetMGM using bonus code Dusty and get up to $1,500 in paid back in bonus bets if the first bet does not win. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day. Go into the game. In honor of our launch in Missouri, we'll be at the Chiefs games on Sunday, December 7th and Sunday, December 14th. Come find our trailer and enjoy live meet and greets with Chiefs alums, swag giveaways, free hot beverages, and more. Can't join the action in person? Download the BetMGM app, now available in Missouri. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Minimum deposit of $10 to participate. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I'll tell you what, we're getting close to that Christmas holiday, right? We're 10 days away, and you're looking around, you're going, oh, boy, it's going to take forever to ship something here. So here's what I want you to do. You need to go see my friends over at Newton James, because they're Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. Whether you're buying something for you or whether you're buying something for that special dude on your list, Newton James is going to take care of you, and they have taken care of me. I've gotten great shoes at Newton James, some great pants at Newton James, and I got a brand new hoodie that I absolutely love from my friends over at Newton James. And we're talking about quality merchandise that is going to knock your socks off, guys, literally and figuratively. Some of the best designers from the U.S., the U.K., and Japan. And they've got their new seasonal collection out now at Newton James. You've got to check it out. All the great colors are going to go early. So get on down to Newton James at 80th and Metcalf and take advantage of the best menswear boutique in Kansas City. Guys, go buy something special for yourself. Ladies, go down there and shop for your guys, because they've got everything every guy wants. And I know, I love Newton James. They got great clothing. They've got great brands. They've got everything to make me look good at work, whether I have to go out for the night, whether it's on the golf course, wherever the case may be, you can look your best when you shop at Newton James. And at Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or at newtonjames.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Joe?
I started a woodworking business. I was able to build beautiful furniture, but had no handle on the business side of things, so quickly fell behind in my taxes. 1 year of being behind in taxes quickly turned into 5 years. I ended up owing almost $37,000.
Then Joe found Tax Relief Advocates.
I would hear ads for Tax Relief Advocates. One day it just clicked. This is my exact situation that I'm in. So I wrote down the number and called from the car when I got home that day. TRA saved me 99% of what I owed the IRS, and that brought a huge sense of relief.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Joe did and called TRA for a consultation.
I'm really happy that I made that call, and I finally felt like I could breathe again.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-513-5321. 800-513-5321. That's 800-513-5321.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week. New segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcast. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today, expect sunny skies with a high of 54.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have an easy holiday at Staples. Save on top tech and gaming gifts, shipping supplies and services to get your packages there safely, even custom cards and wrapping paper. Staples. That was easy.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back at it here on 96.5 The Fan. We were just kind of scrolling through social media in one of the breaks, and I noticed that on one of the Royals fan bases, it says Royals might be linked to a name in the words of Jazz Chisholm to fill the second base void. Again, I don't think it is truth. I don't think there's a lot to it.
Can I ask you a question real fast? Do we have a void at second base?
I mean, Michael Massey's your second baseman, right?
Right.
And then you have a backup plan if you want in Jonathan India if he's not used in a deal to go get somebody else that's a free, on a roster right now, like in maybe Boston. But I think Massey will be your opening day second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you keep Jonathan India, he will be that sort of really, really poor man's Ben Zobrist, right?
Yeah.
He play left field if he has to, or play second base, or if he has to spell Michael Garcia at third, he plays third. But there's a few things you do know. Center field is Kyle Isbell.
Mm-hmm.
Left field is the kid they got from Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Thomas is here as well. He's another guy that could be there. Your first baseman is Vinny. Your DH is Sal or Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Your right fielder as of now is Jack Caglione. And your third base and shortstop are as advertised in Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Garcia. So
give me a better left side of the infield, man. That just is spectacular. We got Gold Glovers. We got guys signed up to long-term deals, man. Like it's awesome. I love that. And what do you think about Jazz? Because you, of the three of us, were probably the most, anti-Jazz, during the postseason. What do you think, Dusty, about them potentially being linked to Jazz Chisholm here in Kansas City?
I don't know what his skill set can be. I don't watch every Yankees game, but I know that he was a good piece to that roster. I know that he is absolutely hated in Kansas City for reasons like, first off, you'd have to have a conversation with Michael Garcia because I don't think they like each other very often. I am a no on this for me because I think that this team is so built together inside the locker room. I've been in there multiple times. We've had player conversations all the time as well during the season. We'll talk to Vern tomorrow at 8:20 to talk things about the Royals and their winter meetings and what's coming up for the hot stove season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you look at what he brings, he's a perfect Yankee. He's a perfect, blue blood type player because you don't want him on your team if you're trying to build a rapport. You want him on a team that already has it, if that makes sense.
No, I totally agree.
And he's definitely a guy that you hate if he's not on your team. You love him if he's on your team.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's on the Phillies, the Braves, because no one really cared about Jazz Chisholm when he was with the Marlins.
Right.
No one's going to care about Jazz Chisholm if he's on the Royals.
I remember
but if he's
years
a Yankee,
ago,
a Dodger, or somebody like that.
We went to Marlins for our baseball trip a few years ago, and Jazz Chisholm was playing, and I was texting some people who were, I believe, with the Royals at the time, and I said, this is a perfect addition for Kansas City. Go get Jazz Chisholm. He'd be a great player for us here in Kansas City. And then years later, here we are sitting. But I think, Nathan, what do you think about it? I just, for whatever reason, feel like it would be kind of difficult to go from hating a guy to loving a guy as a fan. And that's just me being 8-year-old Bobby. That's just how I am. And I've never gotten past being 8-year-old Bobby before,
Well, put some respect on Miami Marlins Jazz Chisholm. First of all, this guy was the cover athlete of MLB The Show, guys.
Yep, correct.
So, the flair that he played with, I loved it when it was in Miami. Obviously, it rubs you the wrong way more when you're in New York, like you guys said. But I think about what actually happened between Garcia and Jazz Chisholm. He's upset about hard tags,
Mm-hmm.
not even anything dirty or anything like words or and Garcia hasn't even engaged. When Volpe was waving at him, Garcia just walked off the field. It's a one-sided beef.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't like each other, Michael Garcia doesn't show it when he's out there. It's Jazz Chisholm that does this. So it's just it's so weak. It's so mentally weak. And I think along the same vein of Dusty, who said he might break up that clubhouse, I think at a minimum, they all pull on the same end of that rope. And I think when things get hard, I'm worried about if Jazz Chisholm's going to do that.
Here's the thing, Dusty. When you mentioned, bringing him into an established team versus a team like the Royals, I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. You have to understand and really dive into a person's personality when you're bringing them into an organization like the Royals or any smaller market, smaller revenue type of team. Because if you bring the wrong guy in and you make a mistake financially, it's tough to overcome that financial mistake. You can overcome a financial mistake if you're the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets or some of these bigger revenue ball clubs. The Royals can't overcome a bad investment on a player because, if they spend $20 million, that they don't have $200 billion floating around the sky like the Dodgers do. So they can't make those mistakes. And I think you're right about pulling on the rope too. Like when the going gets tough, is Jazz Chisholm going to be one of these guys that runs to the front of the boat and brings everybody with him? Or is he going to be the guy that takes a left-hand turn and jumps off and says, screw this, I'm out? And when you're in Kansas City, you need everybody rowing on the boat in the same direction. This isn't New York or L.A., and quite frankly, it's not L.A. You need everybody on that team pulling in the same direction. And if you have guys that aren't and are doing their own thing, it ruins a clubhouse and a locker room, and we've seen that over the years here.
Yeah, teams like the Royals get glue guys like Adam Frazier.
Right.
Teams like the Yankees get, rubber band guys like Jazz Chisholm because they don't care what he does, what he says. They just more care, can he help the team win? Whereas that's in reverse order for Kansas City. They need guys that can help win, and then they can go do whatever they want. Like Vinny Pasquantino's the mouthpiece because he's positive and he's a leader in that locker room. Jazz Chisholm goes out there and, makes an error or something like that. He's like, well, in the fifth inning, if we don't give up a run, it's like, that you can't say that.
I mean, the last guy we had like that was Whit Merrifield, right? And we wanted him run out of town. I mean, Whit was a great baseball player when things were okay around here, but when the times got tough, he melted. He wilted and said, if it was a better team, I'd get my shot and we can go to Canada. I don't need people like that in my organization.
Right.
So we're all unanimous no on the Jazz. It's obvious, right?
Yeah, I would lean towards
Chisholm is gonna start in center field.
I mean, could you imagine in your life if you were driving down 435 and the Royals game started? Here comes Jazz Chisholm. I would lose it.
Right. Jazz Chisholm is gonna.
Yeah,
and it's so easy to say it that way too.
For sure, it is. Again. I don't think it's obviously happening. It was an article.
No, it's a good conversation,
It was just one of those things. So yeah,
I think the biggest takeaway here is not with that mispronunciation of his name. We shouldn't have used the rope pulling metaphor.
I mean, it is Tuesday though. Hey,
This team thinks that they don't have a second base problem, though, Bob, to your original question. Michael Massey is their answer there still internally. And then if India isn't moved, they can platoon him. I see what they believe. I believe that an upgrade would be ideal.
I don't disagree with an upgrade, but sometimes I talk like I'm thinking about how they're thinking right now, and I like Michael Massey, but the problem is not healthy.
It's availability.
Yeah, it's availability.
Not Michael Massey conversation. We'll get into something we need to get into here in a second, but what is more of a need in your opinion? An edge rusher for the Chiefs or a right field bat for the Royals?
Cags developing for the Royals is
huge. Trust me, for my credibility, for my career, for my lust, for my love, I need him to be great. The Royals definitely need him to be good. But yes, I don't know, man. What go man?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, dude. The Royals have never developed that power hitting ever.
Who says they have?
Can I answer this in a weird way?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Kind
of.
Don't throw anything at me.
I'm not a thrower. That was one guy you used to work with.
Years ago, right? Yeah. I think the Royals are closer to winning, so I would rather have the power hitting bat than the Chiefs having the edge rusher. Is that fair to say? I mean, is that where we are right now? Because
you're just so hyperbolic.
No. I look, the team is under 500 right now. They're out of the playoffs. They're going to be a top 10, 11 draft pick right now.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it this way, like, what if Kaggs is that 30 home run, 90 RBI guy?
It's all the difference in the world.
I'll do the entire show shirtless.
Well, I'm saying this team's winning the division, and that's like
No
not
doubt. Correct.
hyperbole at all. If the Chiefs had a better pass rush group, I'm still saying, man, the running back position, the right tackle, the wide receiver, what are they going to do at cornerback? Is McDuffie gone? Is Watson gone? Sorry, I shouldn't have not had this ready.
Watson, yes!
Fulton, like, what is the cornerback group? There's the kicking game. What does Mahomes' knee look like?
You're not wrong in any of
many
this.
Questions. If Kaggs is your power-hitting right fielder, the Royals are winning the division.
No doubt. And I think the Royals, in my opinion, should be the favorite to win the division this year. I don't know what the Indians are doing. The White Sox aren't ready to win the division. Detroit will probably trade Skubal before the year starts. So the Royals have every opportunity. And if Kaggs does go, 90 RBIs and 25 home runs, that is the difference that you need. That is the difference in winning the division and making the playoffs versus not.
So either way, in the future, in right field will be where? Do we know that yet? Are we getting more information on these?
Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be soon. Yeah, well, I
don't throw anything at me.
No. I mean, I talked to a well-placed source on Friday, and they said in all closure soon, Bob. I'm like, okay, good. It was like you could tell the person I was talking to is exhausted by it as well,
Sure.
and that's somebody.
So are all the ears listening?
Everybody,
and that's not on you.
No, it's everybody wants closure. Everybody wants an answer for what we're going to have with the stadium stuff. And while everybody's talking about the Royals stuff, it's the Chiefs that I think right now, they've been in, from what I've been told, conversations with the city of Shawnee, about stuff over the last couple of weeks, some deep conversations with the state of Kansas over the last couple of weeks. That being said, they're still talking to the state of Missouri right now. But the date that you need to know is December 22nd. That's when Kansas has their LCC meeting scheduled. And what that meeting is the approval of the Star Bonds for the Star Bond district for the stadiums. Now, the Royals still have some things to work through as they finalize things. They're still obviously talking with the Jewish Community Center, the J. That seems to be kind of the final piece. The T-Mobile stuff is still kind of floating around out there. I don't know, how much they're in negotiations with the Royals about moving forward there. But it seems like the last piece of that puzzle is the land that the J is on. Now, the land that the J is on is not part of the Sprint campus. That is a separate parcel of land. So that's why all this is kind of, difficult at times. And where they built the Andretti thing, that's a different parcel of land as well. So you've got all of that factoring in. But the one thing that I find interesting about all of this is that there is a potential land swap discussion being taken between Black and Veatch at 115th Street there and the Sprint campus, which is just across 115th Street. If the Royals can't get everything finalized that they need with the J and stuff like that, there has been talk of a land swap possibility with Black and Veatch and moving the stadium to where the Black and Veatch headquarters is, which is technically closer to the highway than where the Sprint campus is at this point in time. So I know that the Royals and the J and everybody, they're working diligently to try to find an answer to that big question right now that everybody wants, what's going to happen with them. But there is also the possibility of having the land swap with Black and Veatch, where Black and Veatch would just take over the Sprint campus, move their stuff there because they're looking to build new, as we told you back in March on that one. And then you would have potentially the Royals going to where the Black and Veatch headquarters is right now. So those are conversations that are happening. On the Missouri side, they're still having conversations. But again, anything done on the Missouri side does still require a vote and a sales tax of the people. I don't know how many people are going to vote for a sales tax. I think if they do a Chiefs only, people do think it will pass to remain over there. But is that the best way? Is that the best situation for the organization too? I think the organization got hit with a big sucker punch on Sunday when Mahomes went down. And I think a lot of people, and this is me talking, I think a lot of people realized the mortality real quick of Patrick Mahomes and we got to get this thing moving, if we want to capitalize on the Mahomes era and get the stadium that we so desire here in Kansas City. So that may have had a little bit of a factor in it, but I think with that December 22nd deadline looming, that's where they approve the Star Bond districts, whether it's for the Chiefs and Royals, the Chiefs, however they decide to do it. That's a date to keep in mind. We could see.
6 days away.
Yeah, it's next week. Yeah, I had heard that last week that we could potentially see the Royals jump this week. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know when the Chiefs are looking at an imposed deadline for themselves. But that December 22nd date is big. They may just announce that meeting that they have approved the star bond districts. Then teams announce if they're going to choose to utilize those star bond districts. But, we're getting there, guys. And I know I've been saying that for better part of a year. But I think most of the information that you've been getting from me has been pretty dead on. And so I think, I don't know that there's anybody in town that's had better information on the stadium stuff than I've had on the stadium stuff. And so that December 22nd date is a big one. As far as that meeting that took place in Leawood, I was told that 30% of the attendees were Jackson County residents. And the other thing is, Leawood, I hate to break this to you, the stadium's going to be in Overland Park, not your town, so you really don't have much of a say.
So as you catch a breath and take a drink of water, we move from stadium information to Patrick Mahomes information.
Yes, we do. And that is some good information that I did receive from a well-placed NFL source this morning about, Patrick Mahomes and where he said where he's going to go. And I said, what's the expectation that he's ready for opening day? And I got back, good question, which I said thank you to as well. They're looking at 9 months right now.
You do that via text as well?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
Depending
who it is. Yeah. And
Thanks.
But they said to me, this well-placed NFL source, they're looking at 9 months. If this happened to any other player, they would probably say the first 6 weeks of the season they would be on IR, but this is Mahomes. They'd be shocked if he wasn't ready for week 1.
I think it's okay to be shocked in this situation.
I do too. I don't have a problem with that.
And I'm talking about legacy and longevity. I don't want Patrick Mahomes to go out there and think that he's got to be rushed and play the position at quarterback. I understand that most people will say, hey, with ACLs, like look at, Micah Parsons next year. You'd be shocked.
It's different, though.
It is, because he's playing a different position.
Yeah.
But quarterback is still, it's the left knee. Now, in your head, when you think about when you throw the football, what's the last thing that gets planted?
Well, I'm a left-hander, so.
Oh, okay. Right?
I'm trying to do it backwards. That's the end.
You stop back, and then when you throw, if he's right-handed, you plant with that left leg and then release, right?
Yeah.
You always hear, don't throw off your back foot. You want to plant. That is the knee that is being surgically repaired.
Yeah.
Or was repaired last night, the ACL and the LCL. I know Patrick Mahomes I'm never in my life will I question Patrick Mahomes' tenacity on the field, his willing to be that guy. But sometimes, we talked about this. This is funny that we bring this up. We talked about my grandpa at the lake having to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, it's okay.
Yeah.
I know that you want to be out there, but it's going to make it that much sweeter when you finally do get out there, because God forbid, you go out there and plant that leg and, from the, boom, and it's not ready. It might be ready in Pat's mind and ready what he thinks. But sometimes the best thing you can do is tell your kids no.
Yeah.
Because it's going to benefit them in the long run. Dad, I want this toy right now. Why don't you wait until after Christmas? Well, I want it now.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait. And then when they get it, it's that much sweeter on Christmas Day when they have it then, instead of just, because you just don't want to ruin it. And I don't want him to think in his own mind that he has to come back, that he is the savior of the franchise that he was for the last 10 years, that they're going to make some moves. They're going to change some things up. They're going to bring new voices in. And while we do all that and we get better, you get better. You can't lose your season in September. You can't win your season in September, but you can lose your entire season if your franchise quarterback does re-aggravate that knee.
Yeah, look, I'm more with you on this than I am with, getting him back out there for the first week of the season, because I would think, okay, but this person did tell me, they go, look, the Chiefs are probably going to have to hold Patrick back from rehabbing.
Good.
And that's a good thing. Like, he's all ready to go. And I mean, obviously he had the surgery last night, so
right.
That he is ready to rock and roll and take care of this thing and get back. And I don't think anybody doubts that he's going to be back, and doing his thing and rehab the right way. But there's no reason you can't still have a plan in place just in case, right? You make sure you have that right backup quarterback and whatnot. And I know everybody wants him back because he is the franchise, but you're right. You just, at times, sometimes it's okay to play it a little slow and a little bit longer. And, there's no need to rush him back. But again, he is who he is, and he's healed better than anybody we've ever seen.
So that injury that he sustained in the divisional round against the Jaguars, the ankle sprain, if that happens in week 3, he probably goes on IR, designated to return, because, the next week against the Bengals, he was in the pocket. Now, he was cooking them with Marcus Kemp. So,
yeah.
Mahomes in the pocket is still a
What a
fantastic
pull, Marcus
quarterback.
Kemp. I forgot about that guy.
Thank you, Bob.
Sean's son.
But then,
right, one of them.
Yes, 2 weeks later, so 3 weeks after the original injury, he's still, he got hit in the Super Bowl, and it looked like he was going to need to be carried off the field there at the end of the first half, and then breaks off that long run, and we were just like, what's going on? But I don't want that mindset. The get him back, the 60% of Mahomes is better than the rest of the field in week 2 of the season. I'd rather him get to 100% and not be a guy that can't scramble, that can't trust his plant leg, and those sorts of things. So I'm with you on the get a solid backup plan. Don't rush him back. Try to hold him back. But like the source, I kind of agree with in the sense of like, based on how he recovers from injuries, like that's 8.5 months away.
Yeah.
Like, he could recover from an ACL in 8.5 months, seeing what he's done with these previous injuries, right?
But now being older, does it take longer too? Because as you know, I know it's only a couple of years, but hey, that makes a difference, and it changes the way that you heal in your body as you get older. Everything changes, and so I'm not going to ever doubt Patrick Mahomes. If they believe that he can be back for week 1, I'll be stunned and I'll be surprised and I'll be excited about it. But I'm like, wow, that's remarkable. But I shouldn't be surprised and stunned about it because it's Patrick Mahomes, who literally has come back from every injury in no time at all that we've ever seen this guy have in his career.
No doubt. Coming up next, we'll wrap this show up and get you ready for a Wednesday here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is Isaiah Pacheco, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends at Park & Go are going to take care of you when it comes to all of your airport parking needs. And that holiday travel season is here. People are going to be flying out and going out of town, and you need to make sure your car's protected from all of those winter elements while you're gone. Or in the summertime, if you're booking summer travel, you need to book Park & Go as well because it keeps your car protected from that hot summer sun. And at Park & Go, every spot is covered. That's the beauty of Park & Go. And they're so easy to use and make a reservation. I make my flight reservation, then I go to bookparkandgo.com or their app, and I make my parking reservation. I also prepay, because when I prepay, that's when I save the most amount of money. And then I'm done. I'm ready to go. I show up on the day of my flight. I give them my reservation. They send me to the parking spot that's covered that they have reserved specifically for me. As soon as I get into that spot, the van meets us and takes us right to the airport terminal. No waiting around at all. And when I get back, I grab my bags, jump on the bus, and it's right back to the trunk in my car. So join their frequent parker program like we did and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts at treating ED. And as a Prometic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season, a renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
The holidays are here, and so's the newest Academy Sports and Outdoors, right in your neighborhood. Score kids ride-ons that say, my 8-year-old's truck is nicer than mine. Grills and smokers that say, there is no wrong way to cook a turkey. And new Nike fleece hoodies that say, I keep it chill no matter the temp. Academy has all the legendary Christmas gifts your family wants at undefeatable prices, because here, fun can't lose. Win Christmas at your new Academy Sports and Outdoors.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance.
Financial services.
Insurance.
Financial services.
Now, when I say Nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide.
Is both.
Nationwide.
Is both.
For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
You guys like weird, fun betting trends? How about this? Steelers under 7.5 first quarter points is now hitting 64 straight games.
How many?
64 straight games. For Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, 7 points or less in the first quarter. Last night, you watched it. There were no points in the first quarter. So according to Bleacher Report betting, Steelers under 7.5 first quarter points.
It's almost 4 straight years.
If there's one thing we know about Mike Tomlin, he's consistent.
How have they not scored like returned a kick or a defensive touchdown and then added a
Well, maybe
field goal to that?
maybe they have. They didn't get anything.
Like nothing else on offense then, though. You know what I mean?
Have
like
you seen this offense the last 4 years in Pittsburgh?
That's so many games.
Steelers.
It's almost 4 years.
Steelers under 7.5 first quarter points has hit now in 64 straight games. Crying emoji, but like the really, really crying emoji. This comes from Sharp Football. Make it 64 straight games. Tomlin with 7 points or less in the first quarter. 0 first quarter points last night. They had 2 possessions, 2 punts. How about their version of the tush push? Just Darnell Washington back there, and then Aaron Rodgers just keeping his hands warm. I saw a sign the other day. It was like Santa watching the reindeer fly the sleigh.
But you know what? Why not do that if you're the Chiefs? You know, with all the opportunities that they've had to not be able to get that quarterback sneak. I think I saw that last time. Like, damn, that's something Andy should write down and put. You know,
we yelled about Blake Bell doing that for years.
Yeah,
and Noah Gray, it's be something he could be useful in.
Or
right?
maybe it's one of your running backs or somebody that you could potentially do that. You got to find the right guy, you know, and figure out who that is and go ahead and do it. But
I will say this, Dusty, that the first time I take the under on those points, that'll be the game that it hits.
Well,
so
I'm
you just
thinking,
let me know when you want to bet the over, and I'll.
Who's
I'll get you
Pittsburgh
some
got
money.
this week?
Yeah,
Well,
this is the week that Pittsburgh breaks that streak because everybody's talking about it. Now, you're absolutely right, Nathan, because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, as soon as I bet this thing, I'm going to lose.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that anymore. It's a really cool fact. I'm not falling for that anymore, though, Dusty.
Yeah.
Would it be ironic if they run a toss power trap and they score for the first time in 65 first quarters?
The Steelers also, they haven't done it recently, but like they were the leaders of that go for two, like craze, like probably 10 years ago or so.
Well, then they realized that was stupid.
Agreed, but like they never scored a 2-point conversion in that time. Like it's mind-boggling that since the pandemic they haven't scored more than 7 points in a quarter.
Maybe they've got a touchdown, but there's no more than 7 this week. They play at Detroit, 325.
Well, that screams like that record's going to stop. I just feel like it that we're talking about it, you know?
Speaking into existence?
Yeah.
Detroit has been playing in a lot of shootouts. The Cowboys game, the Rams game, both teams are going over 30. Yeah, maybe this is the week, Bob.
By the way, Saturday football's back this week. Did you know that for football in the NFL?
Yeah, the college football playoff.
The NFL is back. Yeah.
Philadelphia and the Commandos, they play at 4 p.m. and the Packers and Bears. That's right. They play again. And they play at 7:20 on Saturday evening.
Yep.
Dynamite game on Thursday night. Rams at Seahawks.
Which I think at the beginning of the year, they probably didn't look at that as a very big game, right? I mean, that's just the way that I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would you schedule such an important game on a short week? And the NFL tells me they just weren't expecting Seattle or maybe the Rams at the time with Matthew Stafford, those two teams to be battling potentially for what's going on out there. Because I think ultimately the league would probably look at that and go, we screwed that one up. These guys should really have that full week to get ready for such a big divisional game. Where is it? In Seattle?
In Seattle.
And that's a huge advantage, too, for the Seahawks, to have that home game, to have that crowd, to have L.A. travel. I know it's not going across the country, and it's a short trip and all, but still, it's one extra day that you have to do something that Seattle doesn't. So for a divisional game that has everything essentially on the line, I mean, from a consumer standpoint, it's cool that it's Thursday night, but also from a consumer standpoint, I'd rather have guys rest a few more days and get their best effort on Sunday.
Maybe you guys called us out yesterday, but I guess putting that all together, like a battle for the division on Thursday night, college football playoff game Friday night, 3 playoff games on Saturday, plus the Packers and Bears winner will have a chokehold on that NFC North after that one on Saturday night. What a great couple of days. Then we get to see Phillip Rivers on Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, when you think about it, like Thursday to Monday, man, there's a lot going on. Yeah.
What'd they say last Saturday? That's like 22 consecutive days in a row of just football.
Really?
Because there's a game tonight. I think it's like Jackson State.
In 3, 2, 1, check your phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Binkley's telling everybody who's playing tonight.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like Jackson. It's like an 8 o'clock start too for bowl games. Troy versus Jackson State. Tomorrow's Old Dominion versus South Florida, as well as Louisiana, Delaware.
Yeah,
the Louisiana Purchase. And then there's Thursday, December 18th. We got to watch that one. That's Missouri State versus Arkansas State in the Xbox Bowl.
I'll tune back into college football on Friday night for Alabama and OU. Thanks.
Yeah. Tonight is the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Tomorrow is the Cure Bowl. So,
never heard of him.
You never heard of the Cure?
Is that who the bowl's after? That's cool.
It should be. They should just all be like emo players. Like everybody's eye black is like all over their face, all their hair's down, and the quarterback has to.
Not the Cure Bowl.
Okay.
Oh,
the way they have to do like the cadence. Wide right, XYU. And then Thursday, and then Friday, Kennesaw State versus Western Michigan in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. That's one I'd want to play in. And then Saturday's your Alabama, Oklahoma, Miami, Texas A&M, and then
which is the Friday night game? Oklahoma, Alabama.
I thought it was that one.
Or is it?
That's Friday night. Yeah, Friday night's Alabama, Oklahoma. Saturday is Miami.
Tulane and James Madison have their games
on
Saturday.
Saturday is Miami and Texas A&M, Tulane, Ole Miss, James Madison, Oregon.
That's the late game.
Yeah, that's 6:30.
Yeah.
So but I mean, that'll be a fun weekend of college football and pro football all on Saturday. I mean, like, what are you doing Saturday?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot going on from that. We're also 100 days away from opening day today, but actually it's 101 for the Royals because they moved the game back on opening day. Did you see that yesterday?
Is it because they didn't have everything ready? Is it because they have projected Farmers
idea.
Almanac?
I don't know what it was. Like the Royals were supposed to open on the Thursday, and then Friday's the off day, and then Saturday, Sunday. They're opening in Atlanta for those who don't know this year. And they were supposed to open on Thursday, but now decided to just move it back to Friday and open it on Friday. Here's what I'm thinking, quite honestly, what we're going to experience once the new ballpark opens, and whether it's the spring campus or a land swap with Black and Veatch, is the ability to go down there and just hang out all day. You'd rather have your opening day on a Friday, because I've been there to the Battery in Atlanta. It's awesome. It is the greatest. Have you been?
I have.
Okay,
luckily.
it's the best game day atmosphere that I've ever seen outside a ballpark anywhere.
Is it better than the atmosphere that was at the Chicago Bears versus the Cleveland Browns game this week? No, have you seen this yet? A guy brought his own bag of spaghetti and ate it in his seat. What's like the weirdest food you ever brought into a game? I mean, literally a Ziploc bag. I just retweeted if you want to look at it on X. Guy sitting in his seat, just sitting down, got a Ziploc bag, beer can goes back in the holder, opens the bag, just shoveling spaghetti.
I brought Chipotle into VK one time when I was young.
You can do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
I saw a guy bring in Taco Bell to the Royals game.
I've seen pizzas out there.
Like a whole pie?
Yeah, so I was like a pizza box, like I don't know, whatever the company is from.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that. He's some guy from Chicago eating a hot bowl of spaghetti out of a Ziploc bag. It's a brilliant move.
But I have not heard why this game was moved back a day, but I feel like we're used to that off day after opening day, so now
because of weather. That's why it's there.
Yeah, but it's weather, but it's Atlanta and it's March and it's December. No, they haven't said anything yet. I mean, you can't predict the weather tomorrow, let alone what's going to happen at the end of March.
Well, so now we can't skip our fifth starter the first time through without that off day, so we can't carry Nick Lofton for the first week of the season.
I know that's going to suck, but the Atlanta thing, I guarantee they want to use it because it's a Friday. You give everybody the opportunity. You know what? Just take Friday off, come down here and spend all your money down here and hang out at the ballpark all day. Nobody has has to worry about going to work on Saturday. So that's what I think, but that's also me, that's also the 22-year-old fraternity guy in my brain still thinking about drinking all the time as the reason why we do things in this world. But I think, spending a lot of money around the ballpark after they spend some money in free agency is probably one of the reasons why.
Oh, if you worked at an office in Marietta and opening day was on Friday, that would be an insanely awesome day.
Yeah, it would be. I think it's great. I love Friday day games. I think the new stadium, when the Royals do that, should have Friday day games as well. Friday day games at Wrigley are awesome. You go to the game, you have a great time. You go home for dinner. You can go out to dinner. You can still be home for the family on Friday if you need to do that kind of stuff. Friday day games are just the best.
And what sucks too is you had mentioned earlier that the game got moved back to Friday and that it's a night. It's 7.
Oh, is it a night game too?
It's a night game. Yeah, I didn't know if you'd mentioned that.
Oh, I didn't see that part. That sucks.
Opening day is always at 3.
It's opening day.
Yeah, if you go to Andy Rogers' Twitter handle, I think she said the game first pitch is either 6 or 7 p.m. Yeah, so you got to wait all day for Friday night.
Sense.
I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if they had weather that they saw in advance or if I'm pretty sure the game starts at 7 p.m. on Friday night.
7:15.
Yeah.
Followed by a post-game fireworks show.
Yeah. And the end of our show.
And I guess so. Yeah, it doesn't give a reason why. I mean,
No,
it can't be weather at 6 months in advance, 100 days in advance.
I guess I've got to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because the Ziploc spaghetti move is a direct reference to the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, right.
It's a Charlie Kelly bit. Okay. Go do something nice for somebody. You never know. It could change their day, their week, their month, their year. It's simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay kind, stay safe, stay groovy. Coming up next, Cody Golden Drew from 10 to 2. We'll talk to you tomorrow with the man, the myth, the legend, Jay Binkley.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is George Karlaftis, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Newton James is Kansas City's newest classic menswear boutique and accessory store. They redefine what menswear should be with the best designers from the US, the UK, and Japan. Their new seasonal collection just dropped, but the most popular colors and modern cuts always go first. So check them out today. Whether it's a suit for a holiday party, a winter wedding, or a sharp everyday fit, get the best look while your size is still in stock. At Newton James, they believe someone has to be the best dressed man in the room. It might as well be you. Check them out on Instagram or newtonjames.com.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here to tell you Rob Site Ford